I actually kind of hate sitting on this corner because I feel like I don't have enough. All right, yeah, blow us up in there. You got us, baby. You got us. All right. Wait till the people get in here. We're live now, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. We're live. Everybody get in. Share it, please.
Come on, get in. Get on, get now. Actually, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to share the Twitter and everything.
Oh, yeah. Perfect.
Which actually, I don't need to share it. It's on my page, too. I will share well, I don't need to share it on Facebook either.
Case.
No.
Good times. I love that.
Excuse me. Everybody, can I have your attention for 1 second, please? We have a very special guest with us here today. He is the lead singer of the band Infant Sorrow, one of my favorite musicians of all time. He's so awesome. Please, let's see if we can get him up here. Mr. Aldous Snow, please. Come on. Share your gift.
Share your gift.
Hey!
Thank you, what a lovely introduction. What an eccentric and confident young man. I'd like to dedicate this song to a very beautiful woman that's here today. It's Miss Sarah Marshall. There she is.
All right, we got people coming in.
All right. Just because of Out of Snow. Inside of you.
Inside of you.
Welcome to the RawDawgers Sportscast Live. I'm Sean Watson.
I'm Ryan Kessler.
Guys, it was some great games. First off, before we even get into that, if you haven't got into our Super Bowl 100 Square contest, if you need to know how it works, but we ran the same contest last year. We just started it up yesterday. I appreciate everybody telling their friends about it, but basically it's a 100 square grid. Okay, and it's $10 a square, and we're paying out $200 per quarter. So if, let's say, you had the numbers Chiefs 7 and San Francisco 3 at the end of quarter one, if the two lines line up on the square that you purchased, you win $200.
You may collect $200.
Right.
And pass go.
If the next quarter it is 17-3, guess what? You win another $200. So potentially you could win all four quarters. Is it likely? No. 2 years ago we did this, though. We did have a guy that won 2 quarters, Gary.
Yeah.
He won the last 2 quarters in that Chiefs game. Chiefs and was that Chiefs Niners? Maybe that's 3 years ago. Chiefs were in it.
Well, ours was last year.
Yeah, ours was last year. Maybe that was a personal one I was running over there.
That could have been.
But it might have been Chiefs Niners that year. But please, it's only $10 a square. We do accept Venmo, Zelle. Just drop in our DMs, and we will get you on the board. There's potentially, there's actually there's less than 30 squares left. If we fill up that board, we will go ahead and start another board, right?
We'll try to.
I was thinking about maybe just doing maybe a $5 square for the other one, or what. We could talk about it. We could talk about it.
$10 is.
It's $10. Yeah, I mean, you win $200.
We're degenerates here. Come on.
We are. I mean, if nothing else, you can take the $200 you win and see if you can, parlay that on the ESPN bet,
right?
And be, not be able to come home.
There's a. There's plenty of hockey games out there.
We can also put your name down incognito in case the missus, sees our board out there. We can always put you down and give you an alias.
Right.
It's fine. We won't tell anybody about that. But please get in on our board. It helps the podcast out. It also helps the podcast if you could share, like, and subscribe on YouTube, Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it. Mm-hmm. Okay. And TikTok. We have different handles for different social media platforms. So if you get over there, and also on Facebook, share our podcast with all your friends. Or you can also just get in the chat tonight and you can tell us to fuck off. And that's fine too, because when you get in there, we know that you mean it and we appreciate your viewership.
Yes.
And so I can just say, fuck you too. All right. So starting out this episode, we're calling it the Dan Gamble. I know that, rip Brian Brush, by the way. We
feel for you.
As Cleveland Browns fans, and this is truthful, I did want to see Detroit Browns in there. I know that it was kind of a pipe dream for those two to line up, although we had Flacco coming in and he gave us hope. We're not going to get into all of that, but
that was last week.
Detroit hadn't won back-to-back playoff games since 1957. It was black and white. TV, I mean. I have to watch myself. It is now Black History Month. So I can't say things like, how am I celebrating? You really kind of caught me off guard. This is...
this is a family show?
Yeah. Yes, this is... I don't know. How are you celebrating Black History Month, Ryan?
I completely forgot it was Black History Month.
Did you really? It should be like Black History all year long, and including June.
Yeah.
Okay, no. So we're gonna get into some of the championship games last month. Last week. Sorry. AFC Championship: Kansas City 17, Ravens 10. What do you think, Ryan? Chiefs, did they win this game or did the Ravens lose the game?
Well, I mean, I think it's obviously in a game like that, two good teams coming in. I watched basically the second half, and I don't think I watched all of the first quarter. Kansas City's defense is for real. I know we've talked about them being being good this year. They really locked it up, and I think there was, and we'll get into it, but Baltimore's offense coordinator just did not want to run the football.
Yeah. Rip Todd Monken.
Yeah, I mean, and that's with any quarterback. I mean, you got to run the football, whether it's with him or whether it's running back, how you want to do it. They wanted to sit back there and air it out. It was just like, why?
Yeah.
It was a close game. Your defense is playing well.
Especially in the second half. So,
yeah.
I mean, shout out to Steve Spicoli. We'll call him. Yeah, we'll call him Steve Spicoli. I mean, we should just put some hair on that guy. He's like 4 out. Anyway, no, but
tasty waves.
Yeah. So Spagnolia, he definitely he might have been like, how should I say this? Like the fact that Todd Monken might have been his MVP on defense. Because when your backs are only touching the ball, but that's kind of like your identity for the year. And I know all the sports pundits have been on this all year long, mm-hmm. or all week long. They only touch the ball. There was no designed runs really. Although Lamar Jackson had 58 yards, there was no designed runs. And so basically, you're asking a running quarterback that's kind of his MO. And I'm going to give him credit, and I do believe that his passing has gotten better. But you're not even calling any quarterback draws?
And it was all deep shots. Like they wanted to...
Yeah.
And it's not like... And they were bringing pressure. So I got some of like, yeah, let's do some play action sometimes and try to hit a shot. But they were trying to do that on first, second, third down every time. It's like, dude, run the football. Run a screen.
Yeah.
Where were the screen plays?
Right.
Good Lord, if... I could only imagine if Kevin Stefanski called a game like that.
Right. Yeah.
Like, talk about play calling. That's the first game I've really seen this year that was like, okay, from jump, the play calling was absolute garbage.
Right. And here's my thing, too. Did Todd Monken not watch the game the week before against the Bills? Because the Bills were giving up running to Josh Allen.
Right.
They were giving up tons of yardage to the quarterback.
Yeah.
And
It works.
Yeah.
And then get your play action off that.
Yeah, that's
fine.
fine.
That's what makes Baltimore dangerous.
All right.
That's with any mobile quarterback. Right. That's what we hope to see with Deshaun.
Right.
You run the football. He can take off a couple times a game.
Yeah.
And you use play action.
And the less times that he actually has to run,
yeah, it's better.
Okay, it's better.
Yeah.
But we want to use Deshaun's escapability to extend plays.
Yeah.
Roethlisberger, although he's not nearly the size of Roethlisberger.
No, but he's pretty physical.
He's quick.
Yeah. He's strong.
Yes.
And he's faster than you
extend
think.
Plays.
Yeah.
So just go. I don't understand what.
But
I don't. Go ahead.
To your question, I think the Chiefs won the game.
Okay.
Their defense won the game. You can only play against the calls that are called against you.
Correct. And the fact. Go ahead.
And, Lamar went straight Baker Mayfield, thrown into triple coverage right there.
Yeah, let's talk about that play.
That was, and there you had a crosser. I had flashbacks to the Green Bay game on Christmas Day or Christmas Eve 2 years ago.
Oh,
3
yeah.
years ago.
Good point.
You had a crosser wide open, but
Yep.
fuck that. Let's throw it into triple coverage in the end zone.
Right.
And things like that will happen, but it was a horrible decision, horribly underthrown.
He never looked that way, but also Justice Hill was out in the flat.
Yeah.
If he would just.
But
and he had
that
lots
should have been his last option, but that crossing route, you get 15, 25.
Right.
He makes somebody miss, maybe goes to the house.
Sure. No excuses for that throw.
No, and I honestly, for what they were putting Lamar in, the situations he was in, up until that point, he really pretty much took care of the ball. I mean, and he was pretty much forced to make pinpoint throws, and it's that's not his game.
No, it's
he can, but you don't want to do that the whole game.
Well, Lamar 20 for 37, 54%.
Right.
Not great.
Yeah, because
you're under 60% in a championship game or any time in the
every
NFL.
throw he was making was a 20% completion.
Yeah.
There's not a whole lot of success chance in all the throws.
Had a pick. Also had a strip sack.
Yeah.
Gave the ball up there, put it on the ground.
But I don't usually put that on the quarterback.
Okay.
Strip sacks,
Yeah.
that's offensive line, and it could be got the ball out quicker and stuff.
Right.
But I think that strip sack, it was pretty.
You
quick.
had Jones and the boys, definitely putting pressure on him.
That's God. If we can get Chris Jones, but yes,
That's for another conversation.
Yeah.
So, like I said, we're hearing that all this week. Here's the other thing: did Todd Monken was he trying to overthink the room? I know Stefanski gets called for this a lot. Did he go in there saying, "Well, I know I'm going up against Andy Reid and Steve Spicoli"? Or was he overthinking the room here?
Well, and so what I was saying was, yeah, that could have been open, but every fucking play, dude, they kept bringing 5 guys.
Right.
So they were playing cover 1,
Right.
or straight man, doubling whoever, probably Andrews. Yeah, you want to take shots here and there, but the whole game, I'm dude, just fucking run the ball, do some misdirection, do some fucking screen plays. They had that shit was open the whole time. I don't know if he was trying to. The thought of it made sense, but the volume of what they were trying to do with it made zero sense.
Right. And then you have to think to yourself, okay, is this what we did in practice all week?
Well, that's what I'm saying. I think that was their game plan,
right?
And they just couldn't execute because I think a lot of us when we think Chiefs defense, that front 7 is really good. You got
Right.
Chris Jones up there. I can never remember that linebacker they had, but he played really well. And they get pressure on you, and they play well there. But
Right.
Snead's
Snead.
a really good corner.
Well, you talking about McDuffie? Or are you talking about
Yeah.
him on the other corner?
Well, McDuffie's good.
McDuffie.
Who's 32, that linebacker?
Yeah, I can't.
He's really good. I really
Yeah.
like watching him play. But they got some guys in the secondary, and they draft. That's Cleveland, Kansas City are 2 teams that really draft well in the secondary. Well, Baltimore's Hamilton.
Oh, Hamilton. Oh, you're talking about. That's right. You're talking about the Chiefs.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah,
When he's
fuck
number
Hamilton.
14. Yeah, fuck that guy.
Wish we had.
But I mean, that defense is just yeah. I mean, I don't know. I like our safeties, but maybe on the other side of Grant. But they played really well, and they were sticky in coverage, and it's like Lamar, and with some of that too, I think like Lamar really didn't want to use his legs.
Yeah,
I think he's getting to that point in his career though.
right.
I think that's the progression. That's what if you're
kind of want that.
if you're a Baltimore fan, that's what I'd want to see.
That's really what you want. But here's the other thing too. My other question is this: has Baltimore's window closed? Do you think? I'm not saying
there's too much of a defensive culture there that as long as that defense is top 10, that offense is going to be effective enough for them to compete for AFC North titles every year.
so. Hold on though. I heard a great stat this week too. So Peyton Manning and Lamar Jackson, and all the Lamar Jackson stands have kind of stood on this, for lack of a better term. Both started their careers 2-4 in the playoffs. Okay. Peyton Manning's average defense during that stretch
wasn't good.
was 29th.
Yeah.
Baltimore during that stretch average is 4. And he has 2 wins in the playoffs. 4.
Yeah, and this was, you say.
And this is the top 2. This was 2.
And you talk about window closing. I get that conversation, but I think, we're in more of a different era of football right now because like from 2018 to 2022, that was kind of how it was. Like you had 2 years. But it seems to me like if you look at the Chiefs, like, and even Baltimore, like they've been good throughout that whole span.
They have.
They're going to have bites at the apple.
Right.
Like I don't think the window closes. I think he's still going to, Lamar's going to progress, but it's going to have to get to a certain point where, that offense is going to have to click in the playoffs, and it just hasn't.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, I know they went and beat the shit out of the Texans the week before.
Mm-hmm.
I get that. Probably something we should have done. We talked about that.
Right.
But man, in your own house.
But Kansas City's been there, done that.
And they do. And I've been saying this for a while. I'm like, and I got burnt on it last year. I said one of the stats I had last year was no passing quarterback or no
yards leader.
Yeah, no passing yards leader had ever won the Super Bowl up till last year. Mahomes did it last year.
Right.
Which you don't really want to see that because if you're passing the ball that much, it means your offense, correct. Your offense is not, it's not, one dimension. What am I looking for here? Not one dimensional, but equal. Not equal, just balance.
Okay.
Yes, I'm sorry. So it's not balance. Yeah, I mean, and great examples of that are those Peyton Manning teams. Drew Brees, passing leaders.
Right.
Just you don't want to see that.
Yeah, I mean, even when the Saints won that, that was when they had, a young Reggie Bush. Deuce McAllister was there, right?
And it was a better defense that year.
Yeah, but I'll say this about the Saints.
A better defense.
Yeah. I'll say this about the Saints. So they've always had under the radar pretty damn good defenses.
Yeah.
But a couple years in that stretch with Drew, they didn't really have good defense.
They didn't. I mean, the Drew hitting
but
5,000
he wasn't living in that Peyton Manning bubble of
Okay, fair enough.
But and again, that was a different time too. Like when Peyton Manning was there, like that's the type of quarterback where he's going to lead. He's going to be in the top 3 passing yards every year just because how good he was mentally. Mm-hmm. And, that's how they built their offense. But even when their best is when they had Edgerrin James or even
Dallas, the tight end.
Yeah, Dallas Clark.
Pat McAfee.
Yeah.
Hunting.
But, when they had some semblance of a running game with Peyton Manning,
right.
And that's, it's what helped them in Denver. They had that kind of different scheme, different blocking schemes at least, that I think helped him later on in his career. Obviously, he got the Super Bowl when he was there, when it was the defense that won it.
Right, in Denver,
yeah.
2015.
Yeah, I mean, the year before that, they were prolific on offense.
Yeah, and he came back after the neck surgery, and he's set touchdown records and shit like that. And
he just hit a wall.
Yeah, and Peyton Manning was done at that point, and Von Miller,
Well, that defense was stacked.
Yeah.
And they were healthy, and they were.
Yeah. Cam Newton fumbling balls.
Yeah.
Helped.
Yeah.
Actually, Von Miller with a strip sack in there too. Mm-hmm. I think he had a couple fumbles or forced fumbles. I mean, the last guy that really got defensive MVP, I think MVP, Super Bowl MVP, was Von Miller, I believe, 2015.
Well, and I know when Denver played Seattle, the Malcolm Smith, that linebacker that played for us a couple years, got a Super Bowl MVP.
Okay.
Because they had like 2 pick sixes in that game or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Seattle came out and fucking destroyed them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hate watching Super Bowls like that. Like, it's just over in like the middle of the second quarter. You just know it.
That's true.
Unless the Browns are in there. If they go there, fuck
So
it.
here's another question I want to ask you, though. So, Baltimore defense did their part.
Yeah.
On the second half. I mean, the Chiefs came out, okay, and they looked really, really good. I mean, Mahomes, what did he have, a streak of like 10 or 12, 10 for 10 or 12 for 12 or some shit like that?
Yeah.
It was that he came out. I mean, he finished up 30 for 39. I mean, really, really great. I mean, whether he's still in the Rashee Rice, and I think that is such a huge key for Kansas City, too. It's the fact that Rashee Rice really kind of emerged, and it helped give that that 1-2 punch.
You have the Kelsey there.
Right.
If you have a great quarterback and you have one guy you can get it to, he's going to figure out a way to get it to the other guys.
But I think having that guy, giving that 1-2 punch on the receiving side of the ball, he elevated throughout the season. Rashee Rice, really kind of helped there, and then that took some heat off Kelsey, who may be one of the greatest tight ends or receivers, period, to find soft spots and zones. He's just fantastic at it. But you can't bet against your great stars and just like you were saying, don't bet against Andy Reid, don't bet against Patrick Mahomes or Kelsey. You got your stars, you're hitting your stars,
right?
And shit's working out for you.
Like going into this game, better team, the Niners. Who do you trust? Andy Reid.
I do. And we're going to get into that. So, also, some long drives in the to keep Baltimore D in, definitely in the first half. Like I said, Mahomes 30 for 39.
Well, and there was a certain stretch, too, where Baltimore didn't have a first down for almost 2 quarters.
Some long sustained drives, too, in that
That's
first
what
half.
was really, really impressive about that Baltimore defense. That's what I think our next step as a team in Cleveland. Our defense needs to play in big games like that, which they did at home.
Right.
But they need to be able to do that consistently.
Right. And you got Roquan Smith, and you got Patrick Queen.
Yeah, they got guys. That's what I'm
saying.
saying.
You got Hamilton.
That's what I'm saying. There's no way that window's closed.
No?
No.
Okay.
They'll be right back next year.
All right.
Unless Lamar gets hurt.
Which I've been saying it for a long time, and my premonitions keep coming true.
Except for this year.
Well, right. I'm not saying, but it's going to happen.
Well, like we were just saying, I think he's developing more into using his legs only when absolutely necessary.
Okay. But then, again, he has to become a more prolific passer if Todd Monken is going to put this kind of game plan forward. And
he missed some shots, but again, you're not going to hit every 45-year-old fade
every
ball.
one, but you can't throw 54% either. And
no,
expect to win a game in the NFL.
There was no balance in that offense whatsoever.
Right.
And they did not have a good scheme for what Spicoli was doing.
Spicoli. I love it.
On Kansas City. And like I said, Kansas City's been there, done that. You could definitely see that.
Right. So definitely now, I mean, the whole thing about Kansas City winning on the road has been put to bed. Because now they've done it back-to-back weeks.
Right.
So now you're talking about, a possible dynasty status. And I'm not saying that they equate to the whole Brady Belichick thing at this point. But remember this too. I mean, Andy Reid also made 2 Super Bowls with the Eagles.
Yeah.
Got beat by the Patriots both times. He made 4 consecutive.
No, he only made it once with the Eagles.
Once? Did he make it once?
It was,
I thought it was once.
It was 4 straight NFC title games, and they finally won one.
Okay,
That
I'm
was
sorry.
that.
Then I
That was the
misspoke.
4th and 20.
Okay, I
Remember
misspoke
that
then.
play
Oh, yeah, I do.
Mitchell?
I do.
against the Packers?
Yeah, you're right. I misspoke. All
Yeah,
right,
that was.
I apologize.
That was the one time. One
Oh,
time
that was
I
two
made it.
with McNabb.
It
Because
was
I
just one.
thought then
It was them and T.O.
It was T.O.,
yeah,
right?
he had the
That was
broken leg.
one, but I thought he made one before
No.
earlier on. No, okay, all right.
No, they went to 4 straight NFC title games, and that was the only one they
The
won.
Four Falls of Philadelphia.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
No, I remember those teams. That was one of the really good teams when I was growing up.
All right. I also want to get into this a little bit. The Zay Flowers fumble.
Yeah.
Definitely. I mean, that's a great play on with Snead.
Yeah.
That was just, it was great. Same play, though.
That would have changed the game, too.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe. I mean,
Made a 1-score game.
Zay
at the end.
Flowers, rookie. Really loved him. We talked about him coming out of Boston College this last year. Had no shot of getting him, probably. We know that. I think he exceeded expectations, probably, for the year.
I thought he played
as
well.
a rookie.
I thought he played. Yeah, and he's going to be a good target for him moving forward.
Right.
It'd be interesting to see what OBJ does.
Yeah. Well, whatever.
He's going to be
Fuck that guy.
going to each and every team every year. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, he's a super mercenary, kind of like he was with the Rams, right?
Right.
He's just gonna. He's all you LeBron haters. He is going to be the NFL version of LeBron. In their eyes.
Well, okay. In their eyes.
In their eyes is what I'm saying.
I was going to say, because he doesn't do shit in the regular season.
Because now Stephen A's been coming out this week and he's been touting about how LeBron needs to go to the Knicks. Great.
Well, it's his last year in LA.
Right.
We can derail this trade a little bit. Do you
fine.
think he's going to get traded? Do you think he wants
Well,
traded?
he has no trade clause, right?
Right, but
If
do you think he
can't-
would want to... Oh, yeah, he has a no trade clause. He ain't
Right.
gonna sign a contract without that.
I just, man, I think if he wants to go to the Knicks, he'll go to the Knicks. It's just a matter of who they want to give up. Mm-hmm. I mean, whether they want to give up.
Well, if you're the Knicks, you probably have draft capital.
Yeah.
And you'd give up one of your younger guys.
Right.
Does that make them a title contender in the East? Possibly.
Yeah, I mean, at least
They're a
the
good
way
team.
the way
Good solid
Stephen A
squad.
was talking was it makes them immediately an NBA.
Come back to Cleveland.
Immediate title. Yeah. Join your son, who's putting up 2 points a game at USC.
He's going to have to stay in college for a couple years.
Right.
Yeah. His other son's the one that...
Hopefully LeBron just goes and starts spending more than $1 million a year on his body. Yeah, because it's going to take longer.
Dude, I swear he's playing until he's 45.
He might.
And he'll probably still be averaging like 20.
He's going to be the Tom Brady of the NBA.
Yeah.
Right?
He is the Tom Brady of the NBA. I mean...
Well, he's not. I mean, he's the GOAT of... So let's not get ahead of ourselves. So. All right, getting back to the Zay Flowers fumble, though. Same drive, though. Zay Flowers with the punch out before that, but also had the inexcusable penalty that backed him from the 10.
Well, and
that's a rookie thing.
okay, so I'm glad you
Big
said
game,
that.
big game.
Yeah, and I'm glad you said that. Baltimore did that to themselves the whole day.
They did.
Stupid penalties. I think right before half there was a roughing the passer that was egregious. They laid their own bed, and it wasn't just Lamar. It was everybody on that team.
Okay.
But I mean, they didn't quit. They played. That defense kept playing. They finally found something there at the end of the third quarter on offense, and that fumble happened. Mm-hmm. And trying to overcome that against the Chiefs. Mm-hmm. Just ask Rashard Higgins.
True. Very true. But for it to happen on the same drive.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So he had the penalty, unsportsmanlike conduct.
The fumble was
Put
on
him
the
back.
same drive, wasn't it?
Yeah. It was on the same drive.
I thought the interception happened after that penalty.
No, it was third quarter. Then they had it at the 10. Unsportsmanlike backed him up to 25. It was
Then
like the next play.
Yeah.
Snead punched it out. Touchback.
I mean, he made the right play going for the pylon, but man, you got to make sure.
It wasn't really even the pylon. I mean, it was even
Well,
before
going for
that.
going for the.
Oh, yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
but you got to hold on to
Snead
the ball.
just got the right.
Yeah,
right,
he hit it perfect at the right time. And is the NFL? I heard some ramblings of this. Is the NFL going to change that rule too? The whole touchback. Oh yeah, they were talking.
Oh,
about it
now
during the
people
podcast.
care. Now people
Yeah,
care.
yeah.
I wonder why.
Oh yeah.
I don't think so. There's so many rules. I mean, they might, but me personally, even though that fucked us, even when that happened, it's not, to me, it's not a stupid rule.
Okay.
If you're gonna try to put the ball over the end zone, the defense should have every right to try to hit that bitch out. If it goes in the end zone and somebody gets on it or it goes out of bounds, it's a touchback like anything else.
Okay.
And that's my opinion, because there's so many rules for the offense. The defense should have that. That's their fucking. You do not cross this line.
So is there going to be like extra people just running, trying to punch balls out? Like,
Well, that's what they
during
do now anyway.
practice?
That's what they do now anyway,
Okay.
because it's our defense was an anomaly. How many 3-and-outs we had? How few times they weren't out on the field a lot. It's hard to stop offenses because every time it could be a defensive holding, 5 yards, first down. People get so many shots at it. Like, all right, well, what you got to do is get takeaways, rip the ball out,
But
and get interceptions.
the NFL kind of wants this. I mean, with the whole how big fantasy football is now, they want offensive play.
Well, even that, to me, it's like, okay, fantasy football is going to be the same. It'll just be lower scoring. Who gives a fuck?
Well, but you just want. I mean, fantasy football. Mostly the leagues are done, unless you're talking about the, football championship. We talked about that last week, and then all that cheating shit that happened. But they just want to have more scoring, even on, viewership wise.
This year it wasn't like that.
Yeah,
I mean,
but you don't-
it was down a little bit.
Okay, I'm going to give you a scenario.
To me, the defense this year,
this year
were better.
You don't want the Super Bowl that's going to happen here in a week. You don't want a Super Bowl where it's like 10-7.
That rarely happens, but even the Patriots Rams Super Bowl, that's an anomaly. Even back in the day, like how many of those Super Bowls were under 20 apiece for each team?
Right.
Unless it was the Bills and against whoever they were playing.
Right.
I mean, usually in the Super Bowl, it's 24-21, 34-31.
Right.
I mean, hell, the fucking Eagles Patriots Super Bowl, that was insane with Foles.
I mean, I don't want to see, this is an old head talking, but I don't want to see like a few years ago when Mahomes went out to LA and it was like 50-47.
Oh yeah, that Monday
I don't
night-
want to see that. I
Monday
don't want to
night
see
game.
that kind of game in the Super Bowl.
No, I mean, those games happen.
Yeah.
And that's fine. Like, I remember when the Browns had Kelly Holcomb, and it was like, we played the fucking Bengals. It was like 45-42.
Right.
Those are fun things to watch, but to me, yeah, I played the game. I love playing defense. I love defensive games. I love running the football. I love physical football. That's the way it should be played.
Right.
I hope it, like, I know you don't like Tom Brady, but when he talks about, like, you shouldn't throw the shit in the middle of the field and expect the defender it's his fault because he hits the receiver.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that kind of shit to me is real football.
Right.
Like, you shouldn't just get somebody should be able to take his goddamn head off. As long as you're not putting your helmet into his helmet.
Right.
But you should be able to lay that motherfucker out if he comes across the middle of the field.
Sure.
That's football, dude.
So you actually feel like the defense has been getting screwed for a while.
Yeah.
And I do too. I agree with that.
I think the rules were perfect in like 2005.
Right.
There was enough. All right, there's roughing the passer. Yeah, there should be.
Mm-hmm.
If you hit him late, I get it. I don't like if there is the incidental contact to the helmet, I don't give a shit about. But if you're, I get that you want to protect your guys.
Sure.
In the pocket, I get it. Outside the pocket,
And
to
you
me,
want to protect the quarterbacks. That's really
Right.
what it's all about.
right. And there shouldn't be unnecessary roughness. But middle of the field, if you're going to throw it across the middle of the field, guess what? That's why we have linebackers. That's why
Right.
those guys are nasty.
And if nothing else, if you're one of those wide receivers, fucking bitch your quarterback.
Yeah.
Why are you fucking throwing that shit across there
Yeah.
and let my ass get taken?
Yeah.
So-
That was another part of being an actual offensive mastermind, was being able to utilize the middle of the field without getting destroyed.
Right. Right.
So I'm always going to side usually with the defense on that kind of stuff.
The other thing. The other thing I want to bring up too whether they change the rule with here's what I was getting at as far as changing the rule. Is it going to be an automatic touchback? A fumble through the end zone, recovered. Is that going to be an automatic touchback? The other one is the pylon.
Well, that's already is. It already is.
Is the NFL going to change that to more of an offensive side of the ball?
I hope not, because it's, again, like the defense has every rule against them.
And then
hold
also,
on to the fucking ball,
because the word is they're going to change the Philly special too. The tush push.
Oh yeah, that.
Although we saw it get stopped against Tampa.
To me, I don't really give a shit about that because it's like it's coming, stop it.
Mm-hmm.
That was one offensive rule because I remember what was that, Matt Leinart against Notre Dame back in the day when somebody pushed it. And
Reggie Bush, though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, that was a big deal. Yeah, you should be able to push the runner.
You don't think they're going to change that rule?
I think they've already said they are with that one.
I think they're going to change that rule.
I really hope. I don't think they can change the rule with the touchback because it's like, they're going to get the ball. So basically at any point you could just do this. And
right.
I mean, yeah, if somebody recovers it, then obviously it's their ball. But you still have, like, if you're close to the pylon or you're going to the corner of the end zone, you can do whatever the fuck you want.
Sure.
If that thing goes out, you get it at the one. Who gives a shit? Like, to me, that it's NFL or football IQ. If it's fourth down, yeah, you're going to do that anyway because you want to get the ball. You got to get the touchdown.
Okay.
But if it's second down, if this thing goes out of the end zone, who gives a fuck?
Right.
I can do that. I just puts another point of stress on the defense.
The other question I want to ask of you is MVP voting. Lamar's, we've talked about this. He's kind of the shoe-in. I know it's a regular season.
It's a regular season award.
Okay. Too soon. Is it too soon?
No, because it's a regular season award. That's why. Because what if somebody like somebody lights it up? Someone throws for like 5,300 yards, 48 touchdowns. They're on a 10-7 team, and they lose in the first round. All right, well then there's this other quarterback that has 38 touchdowns, but they go on he gets hot like Joe Flacco did in 2012. You're going to get him the MVP over that guy?
Yeah, or Nick Foles.
Right. Played 4 games.
Super Bowl MVP.
Yeah, that's why I get Super Bowl MVP.
Right. Okay.
Now, there should be maybe another award for like playoff MVP or something like that, but I don't know. To me, it's a regular season award. That's what it should stay. Well, but I think they should start to lean away from making it solely a quarterback award. But fair. It's always been that way.
That's fair. It hasn't always been that way, but I mean,
even in the 80s.
All right, yeah, okay. All right.
70s. I mean, like if you're the quarterback of the best team in the league, or at least in the AFC, NFC, you had a very good chance of winning that.
Right. Okay.
Unless you're Jim McMahon and it was all the Bears defense, you know what I mean?
Richard Dent and the boys.
Yeah. Dick Dent.
Dick Dent. All right. We're going to move on to the NFC Championship game. Rip Dan Campbell to Dan Gamble.
Yeah, this is
different. You guys are definitely, I mean, you guys, just you and me tonight. It's fine. So, once again, did the 49ers win or did the Detroit Lions blow it?
The 49ers won, but they won on throwing a deep ball that should have been intercepted.
Yep.
Excuse me.
Agreed.
And it hits off a guy's helmet.
Right.
I think that, I don't know if you know when you thought the pendulum swung, but I didn't think it swung after that fourth down try. And I thought that was a good idea to do it. It hit off guy's hand. It's 4th and 5. I would rather do that than a 49-yard field goal when you're up by 2 touchdowns anyway. Fucking go for it. Defense was playing well.
You talking right before the half.
Yeah.
Where Dan Campbell actually went against Dan Gamble and decided to go ahead and kick the fucking ball.
Well, and it was 24-7. That was 24. That's what made it 24-7.
Right.
But people said he should have kicked a field goal to make it 27-7 or whatever it was, or 27-10 instead of 24, whatever. I mean, it hit the guy in the hands. I'd rather do that than try a 49-yard field goal. Defense was playing well, and they did play well up until he chucks it. Should have been an interception. Hits off the guy's helmet, and Ayuk comes down with the ball.
Ayuk gets the ball.
They had a few plays like that were ridiculous.
Right.
The 49ers, and they got lucky as fuck in that game to come back in it.
Right.
And then they played well in the second half because they had the momentum finally went their way.
And that momentum is, in game is a real thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's an absolute real game. What the argument is.
Especially when you're at home.
Yeah.
And I'll give it to the 49ers fans. They didn't leave.
No.
And I would have.
They didn't pull
if I was there for a title
They
game.
didn't pull Buffalo Bills and Frank Reich game.
No.
They weren't losing. Or they weren't leaving the game. Though, second week in a row, though, the 49ers had to make a comeback.
Yeah.
So, and I know everybody's like, well, that's how you know that they're a resilient team. How do you feel about that?
I mean, I think the Niners are a good team.
I do. I agree with you. I think they are a really good team.
And I'm not going to say that Brock Purdy is the greatest thing to ever walk the face of the earth. Fuck. If Brian Hoyer had that type of offense.
Big cock Brock.
Yeah, that type of players around him on offense and those guys on defense that they have. I mean, what we should be talking about is why were they down 24-7 in the first place?
Right. Well, they're down 24-7 because they were giving up a fucking ton of yards on the ground.
Yeah.
Whether it be Montgomery, Jahmyr Gibbs, they were giving up.
And Goff was playing really well in that first half.
Jameson Williams, the gambler, they were fucking giving the shit up on the ground.
Yeah.
And we saw this. I mean, the 49ers playing that kind of fucking defense, or I don't know, we should say playing that type of defense, but they were getting caught off guard.
Well, and I said this last week. With all the guys they have on that defense, they haven't really shown their potential. And Chase Young's kind of been a dud since they got him.
He was. I actually watched some footage of him where he kind of gave up on a play.
And I've heard that they might bench him in the Super Bowl.
Really? Give him the Kadarius Toney. They just not let him get on the plane.
Yeah.
Because
he's
they're not
like
going to go that far.
Well, I mean, I'm bench him, but I mean, like, he's not going to start.
Right. Oof.
I mean, what's he done since he's been there? You'd think with him on one side and Bosa on the other.
Let me ask you.
So
this.
another win on the Andrew Berry not trading for list.
Right. Okay. How bad does it look? And I know the Niners are great, and that's fine. And I agree, they're a great team. How bad does it look now that Washington went ahead and basically peddled both defensive ends, and the Niners thought that they got the guy, but Montez Sweat actually went to the fucking Bears.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's...
How would you like to have Montez Sweat on the other side instead of Chase Young?
Well, but they gave a lot. Washington gave up a bit more than a third-round conditional pick.
Okay.
But, yeah, Sweat
who cares if you're in that Super Bowl window?
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing about the Niners, too. Like, their shit ain't closed. They got another 2 years before they have to pay Dickhead. And then they have another... then they have another year because...
Who's Dickhead?
Purdy.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about Shanahan because he's my dickhead.
Well, he's gonna get. That's not cap room pay.
Fuck
he's gonna
that
get
guy.
paid.
No, I know. I'm just being facetious.
But
fuck him.
I mean, they have really 3 or 4 more years of a window because his cap hit's not going to be big because he's not getting a 5th-year option.
No, because he was drafted. He's Mr. Irrelevant.
When he gets paid, it'll be a 6-year deal. And the first year is going to be worth $1 million against the cap, and the second year is going to be like 18.
Right.
So they're going to have another 4 or 5 years to keep building around this guy.
Right.
So if there's anybody that's ever been in a position to have a absolutely productive, successful career, it's Brock Purdy.
So bigger window, Baltimore Ravens or the 49ers?
Niners.
Easily.
Well, and I'll say Niners easily because, too, they're in the NFC. I love Detroit, but they're also paying their quarterback right now. Mm-hmm. And I like Jared Goff, but he's not. To me, he's like a Kirk Cousins. Where like
whoa.
But like
same division.
I'm just saying, like you know you're gonna get out of him. He's not super athletic.
Okay.
But
fair enough.
He's gonna put up numbers. He knows how to play that position.
I'm giving Jared Goff more credit than Kirk Cousins.
I'm just saying as a prototype.
Okay. All right.
Like he's not Pat Mahomes. He's not Josh Allen. He's not Deshaun Watson.
No.
Like, he's not an athlete at that position.
Okay.
He's a good quarterback, good to great quarterback, not elite.
True.
I think what Detroit needs to do is load up more on the defense if they can, and
Especially that secondary.
secondary. But I think they need better pass rush.
Okay.
I think that helps the secondary.
Yeah.
I think we've seen that this year with Cleveland.
Okay. And we talked about it last week. I mean, what's his dick was going against Trent Williams all game. So, I mean,
And he had a solid game.
yeah.
You know, he's like a B+ pass rusher. But you know, and we didn't luck out. We lost every fucking game to get Myles Garrett. Well, we won one game the year before that.
Right.
To get Myles Garrett. But they need somebody like a Sweat or even, you know, Zadarius Smith. Like, they need to breed someone like that on the other side of him for that front to get better. And that'll help the secondary out.
I didn't give you this, although I think I might have said it in the chat. Did you see, though, where Nick Bosa was kind of getting down on the whole thing when he was asked about what they need to do
I think
with the Chiefs?
I didn't see that, though. I think you sent it. I just didn't watch it.
Yeah, but that's a bad look. I mean, you're still like a week and a half out from the Super Bowl.
What did he say?
Well, basically, he was talking about he was kind of in a roundabout way talking about not getting holds, not getting held on defense by the Chiefs. So, I mean, to be the first guy at the podium and you're a week and a half out and he's talking about that.
Wow. Hey, man, put on an orange helmet and see how you feel.
Yeah.
Been talking about that for 4 fucking
But,
years.
I mean, that has to be bulletin board material immediately, right?
That's quasi bulletin board material. I think the Chiefs get that every week because everybody hates them, which deservedly so. They can go fuck themselves.
Tell me how you really feel.
I honestly, I don't really fucking hate them. I'm just glad it's not Baltimore or Cincinnati or Pittsburgh in there. So,
Yeah.
other than that,
I am
care.
an absolute Chiefs fan right now. Well, I mean, regardless of the whole
Yeah,
Taylor
because you hate
Swift,
Shanahan.
I don't like him. I don't like that wet noodle.
I'd like to see
I don't
McCaffrey get a
fucking like
ring,
him. Whatever. But yeah, I'm all about, and I'm not a Swiftie by any means. I don't give a fuck at this point about the whole Taylor Swift thing and the Kelsey thing. I don't care about that. I don't really like Shanahan. So I also didn't like the fact that Debo came out earlier this week and he basically said that, yeah, we would have made the Super Bowl if Brock Purdy didn't get hurt in last year's NFC Championship game. Well, you don't really know that. You don't know that, Debo.
Right.
That, if he didn't get hurt, I mean, you don't really know that.
It would have been a better game.
Yeah, probably.
I mean, fuck. I mean, we remember that. That's what, why you can carry an extra quarterback.
Right.
And I really
Johnson.
Yeah, but I think Philadelphia was just on a heater at that point.
Yeah.
But it would have been a lot better game.
But the Super Bowl was great last year.
It was.
I mean, it came down.
It was two best teams.
The Eagles could have won that game.
Yeah, almost
Probably should have won that game.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I didn't have a problem.
They had that what was it, the fumble return for a touchdown?
Yeah.
Yeah. Eagles are right there.
Yeah.
They were on fire.
And now they are literally on fire.
And that's to me like to go in this game. I honestly feel like San Fran kind of lucked into the Super Bowl because Detroit to me played the better game fully. Not that they were the better team. But I thought they came in with a better game plan, and they got every break that they needed to get back into that game and to finish that game. They got all the breaks they needed.
All right. Now, this is probably where you and I are where we're going to disagree, and it's fine. The Dan Campbell, and I've said it, and I said it during that Dallas game.
Yeah,
and I think they got fucked on that call, but Dan Campbell. Go ahead. He's taking shots for a 2-point conversion.
You said it for 2 weeks after wins, and then it finally bit him in the ass. But it really, to me, it wasn't the reason they lost.
Okay, so Dan Campbell was the play right before the half because everybody was saying, I think Romo was on the podcast, right? Fuck Romo. So, and I agreed with him. you go up. You're what, 17 down, and you went ahead and kicked a field goal.
It was a 49-yarder.
It was a 17-play drive. And he went ahead and kicked the field goal, and that's fine.
Oh, on that one, yeah.
Yeah, on that one. Okay,
Yeah.
but fourth down, called at San Francisco 28, and then Reynolds dropped the ball. The throw, it was 4th and 2. Was that the right call there? Or should he just matched a field goal at that point? Because he's going for it again. And I get that this has, been Detroit's MO all
It's
year.
not even
he just goes for it. He goes for it.
It's not even being an MO. To me, it was the right call in that situation.
Okay.
I
disagree.
They had all of the momentum, and everything worked right on that play except the catch.
Yeah.
And that's not when the shit hit the fan.
And fuck
Reynolds. The shit hit the fan. I think it was a 3rd and 11 when he chucked it to fucking Ayuk and it should have been intercepted.
Yeah, but I would say the shit really hit the fan when Jahmyr Gibbs put it on the fucking ground right after that. Because then you give the 49ers short field.
Yeah, that was right after that.
Right after that.
That's what I'm saying. That's where it changed, is when it hit the guy in the helmet.
Right. The bounce of the year.
It was a 55-yard reception for no fucking reason. Should have been an interception.
Mm-hmm.
Detroit had the foot on the neck. They got that. It changed the entire complexion of that game.
Because then you got the crowd back in.
Yes.
And you're at home.
Then you score, and then all of a sudden it's
you score
24-14,
10, right?
Or 24-17.
17.
And then they got the
That's
fumble.
right.
Then it was
then
tied.
They got the fumble. Then it was 24.
Yeah.
Okay. So then this
so
is after
that's
this.
why I'm not blaming that on Dan Campbell.
Okay. But then they go after this. Then 49ers go. They're forced to kick a field goal. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Then this set I'm talking about here's 17-play drive. So Dan Campbell decides to go for it on 4th down. 4th and 2. 17-play drive where he could have kicked the field goal and just tied it up at 27. But he didn't. And he decides to go and fucking RJ Reynolds. Can I call him RJ Reynolds?
Yeah, with another drop.
Right. He drops again.
Mm-hmm.
And here we are. Now the Niners. Now, give Brock Purdy, and he made
All the
some
credit
great.
in the world.
Gave him all the credit in the world. Debo, he had some good sideline passes. Debo was in there. He made an 8-yard completion there. And then Brock Purdy scrambled. And they had to go, not the length of the field, but I guess, when you had that momentum in there, if you could have just tied the ball game up at that point with a field goal instead of going for it. I just think, and I'm gonna say this, I think it's okay to be a little conservative, especially when you're talking about the NFC Championship game and tying it up. You tie the game up at that point. Because then you kick the ball off. You kick the ball. You take the crowd out of the game. You go ahead and kick the ball off.
That doesn't take the crowd out of the game.
Maybe not. But then you get the kickoff. It at least expels the crowd a little bit. Okay, I mean, we're talking like in the 3rd, 4th quarter at this point, and now you maybe have the game tied at 27. At that point, you kick the ball off.
Well, it is a completely different game at that point. I think, again, the right call was played. He did everything right. And this is what I always say. Players have to make plays.
They do.
What play call in NFL history do you remember that went right that you put on the coach? None.
Yeah. Okay.
Maybe the Philly special. That might be the only one because it was a fucking trick play.
Okay.
But players have to make plays. And you get there for one reason alone. They've done it all year. They put him in a position to make play, and he didn't.
I just think this is the time, just like I feel Lamar's going to take that hit.
But that wouldn't have won the
Dan
game.
Campbell
That wouldn't have won the game. That you said.
I agree with you. It wouldn't have won
Other
the game.
plays would have had to been made after that.
Yes. But we didn't know if the Niners at that point were going to go down, because now you turn it over on a set of downs again, and they go down, and they still have the momentum. The crowd's still in it, and they go down, and they score. And Brock Purdy, like I said, give Purdy credit. But now you quell that crowd a little bit. You at least make a field goal.
You can see the cracks in the defense to me.
You kick the ball off, but the game's tied at that point. You didn't give the ball over, and it's 27-24. It's still instead of being 27.
You don't play not to lose. You play to win.
Well, yeah, you are kind of playing to win when you tie the ball. You tie the game up.
Okay. To me, that is just such a like. What would have happened if that happened? We would have had the same discussion we had last week. If they got the ball back and somebody fumbled it and Detroit ran it back and they ended up winning the game, we wouldn't be having this discussion.
Yeah.
Or if they made a 3-and-out. Or if the defense did their fucking job and let them punt.
Right.
And then Detroit came down and scored. We wouldn't be having this.
So the momentum's in there. We both agree that in-game momentum's a real thing.
Well, and to me, like, that all culminates from everything that happened. Yeah, and that's what you're trying to get the momentum back on your side by getting the touchdown and getting the lead.
Right. Yeah.
Because when you have the lead, the defense plays a lot differently.
Oh,
you can pin your ears back.
I agree with you on that. I do. But I just think instead of going for it on that 4th down, if you would kick that field goal and tie the ball,
it would have been a different game. But we don't know what would have happened.
We don't know what would have happened. You never know really what was going to happen.
What would have happened if they scored that touchdown?
Yeah.
Then San Francisco is pressing. They have to go score.
They have to. You're right.
They can't just run the ball, do play action, do all these fucking bullshit. They have to go score. You have to put that on the quarterback. Your defense can pin your ears back.
I disagree with you on this. Okay. I just think it, and that's fine.
No,
that's fine. We can disagree.
That's why we do this.
That's why we do this. Yeah, I agree. I just think in that situation, you just go ahead and tie the ball game up, and you say, yeah, but if they would have converted that 4th down, and then we don't know what was going to happen after that 4th down. We don't know that.
If we converted that first 4th down, the likelihood of them going down and scoring and making it 31 to fucking the game would have been out of reach.
It would have, but it didn't.
No, I mean the thing was when you look at it and you're up what they were up. I think it was 24-10 when they. Oh God. On that first one, like the percentage of them coming back from that is not very high.
No.
If you get it and you go down and score, the percentage of them coming back from that is even fucking lower.
It is. It is.
So to me, it's the right decision. Now, if it was 17-14, or if it was tied, or if you're down by 2 or down by 3, yeah, kick the goddamn field goal and go.
All right.
But the way the game played out, I don't have anything against what Campbell did. You're trying to win the game. You're not trying to lose it. Especially on the road. You don't have the crowd at your back. You're trying to go out and take it. That's what you got to do.
Right.
Bite kneecaps. That's why I love Campbell, and that's why I love Stefanski, because they got balls to fucking make those calls.
Okay, well, I mean, I'm not going to equate Stefanski to Dan Campbell yet.
But, I mean, how much did we hate fucking Trestle Ball?
Right.
And now we miss it, but, well, I mean, a little bit.
It was kind of a different era.
It was a different era.
You always bring up different eras. It was different. Because then you had Urban Meyer come in, and he starts recruiting from the South.
He was very aggressive.
Yes, he was very aggressive. So aggressive that he started kicking places.
And that's what you can win. You can win championships both ways.
All right. Agree to disagree.
Agree to disagree.
All right, that's fine. All right. I just think that the fucking kneecaps are gone now.
They are gone.
They are.
But hey,
3
years ago, did you think the Lions would ever make an NFC title game?
No, and the last year you talked about the Lions. That was kind of your pick to come out of that division.
And they almost did.
Kirk Cousins pulling shit out of his ass.
Yeah.
And then they run off like 11 fucking one-score games or set a new NFL record.
And I called the Lions winning that division this year.
Okay, and that's fine. That's fine. No, and I actually, they were a pick, I think, to win that division. Easily.
But I've been on their bandwagon for a couple years.
And I loved it. Yeah, like I said, I actually wanted to see Detroit win that game.
I think we all did.
Yeah.
Any Browns fan should have.
Any Rust Belt guy.
Yeah.
Around the Great Lakes Midwest region wanted to see, Dan Campbell finally take that wet noodle Kyle Shanahan's fucking kneecaps out.
Dude.
And fuck that guy. That's another reason I don't want him to win.
How awesome would the leaked photo or leaked videos of fucking Dan Campbell partying after a Super Bowl win?
Oh,
hell yeah, man.
Oh, God. It'd be like Stone Cold up there.
Right.
With Sans kneecaps on the top ropes.
Yeah.
There's got to be a video in there somewhere.
Has to.
Yeah. All right. So we're going to get in this a little bit deeper. Of course, we know now it's going to be the Chiefs and 49ers.
Yeah.
That's in this Super Bowl 58. You can put all that fucking Super Bowl colored fucking bullshit to rest, right? Unless you want to go ahead and mix fucking colors together. What the fuck you're talking about?
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't even think you can do that now.
No. Yeah. Because you got like
it's
two.
red and gold against red and yellow.
Yeah. Where the fucking purple come from? Fuck you guys. I got to say that right now. So, but Super Bowl 58, like I said, we're going to get into it a lot deeper on the next pod. But who you got? I mean, so initially the line came out with San Francisco, I believe it was favored by 3. Favored by 3.5, just right after the NFC Championship game.
San Francisco 3.5.
Yeah, it got bet down.
Are they wearing their dark colors?
Oh my God!
But have you seen that 15 out of the last 18
it's
has
Black
been
History
white?
Month. You can't say that. No, but I guess what I'm saying is that now it immediately got bet down. I wish I would have jumped on this, and I'm still on the Chiefs. I'm still on the Chiefs wagon here.
I
Now
know.
it got bet down to -1.5. It's never went in favor of the Chiefs. Anyway, I mean now it's anywhere between 1.5 to 2. It's going back and forth depending on where the money is.
Mm-hmm.
I still don't understand it. I thought that the initial line would be Chiefs -1. I just thought it would be Chiefs -1.
I think, but if I'm Vegas, I mean, you got to look at the total package. It's not like the Chiefs have played like a game where like, oh wow, that's the best team in the NFL.
Yeah, and don't give me this bullshit about San Francisco's proximity to Las Vegas.
No,
where
it's
the
a
Super
corporate
Bowl-
fucking
it
event.
doesn't fucking matter.
There's probably like 5 to 10,000 fans in that stadium that are actual like diehard fans.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody else is fucking corporate dickheads or
Right.
yeah,
Yeah.
somebody
So,
that knows somebody.
Who do you got? I mean, I'm Chiefs. I think that line's wrong,
I mean, so I know you hate Kyle Shanahan.
and I didn't pick it right last year either. I thought
Yeah.
it was going to be the Eagles, and it could have
I
been.
think we
the
both
Eagles.
picked the Eagles.
Yeah, I think we did with that
because they were the better team.
Hassan Reddick and those guys putting up those fucking sack numbers.
They were the better team, and it's almost like
And I can't go against.
I think
them again.
Pat's trying to creep into that GOAT status. If he gets this one, man,
Yeah,
he's not even 28 or 9.
Yeah, Andy Reid too, though, right?
Oh yeah,
Putting
dude.
the pressure.
Andy Reid's gonna go down. It's gonna be hard to catch Bill, but Andy Reid's been a absolutely phenomenal coach wherever he's been since he's been a head coach. Obviously, Philadelphia and Kansas City, and I think he was Brett Favre's OC in Green Bay, right? Or was that Holmgren?
What's that now? I'm sorry.
Wasn't he Brett Favre's OC when they won a Super Bowl?
He might have.
Was it him or Holmgren? Was Holmgren the head coach?
Holmgren was the head coach.
Okay, I think Andy Reid was the either quarterbacks coach or offense coordinator
Okay.
for that team. I like everything in my gut tells me Kansas City's going to win this game. Man, my gut says Kansas City. My head says San Francisco. I just think. I think they're going to have a good game plan. I mean, San Francisco's coming in there very healthy.
Yeah.
And Purdy's shown he can play in the playoffs. It's not like he's got a big stage thing going against him or anything like that. I just think San Francisco's the better team. Fuck.
I should. Yeah. I actually I'm gonna agree with you. I think that San Francisco, as the players, I think it's a better team. I think that
I
we
do
keep
think-
talking about the defense.
When I think about it, like, it always...
Who has more
even keep-
playmakers?
Right. San Francisco.
Right. I agree.
But, like, even when... And we've talked about, like, even when I think of the Kansas City defense, like, I don't put them in that echelon, but they should be.
they should be.
They should be. But, again, like, San Francisco can come out and dominate you, but they could also get fucked.
Yeah.
And they could also win a close game. Like,
Can
it's
we
just-
both agree on this?
It's a great matchup.
You're not going to be able to come out and whether you want to say you were flat the last 2 games, you're not going to be able to come out like you did against Green Bay and like you did against Detroit.
Yeah. That's
and
one thing
expect
that
to
scares
come
me.
back. And everybody's talking about, well, that just shows you how resilient San Francisco is. You're not going to be able to do that against the Chiefs.
No. If Patrick Mahomes has a 10-point lead in this game,
Yeah.
and you win this,
Yeah.
someone's getting some type of fucking pay raise.
Right.
Because anybody. God damn, dude. To me, like I think I said with the AFC title game last week, whoever comes out first, whoever comes out with the lead, I think whoever hits 10 points first probably wins. But
We don't know that, though.
right.
Because the resiliency of fucking San Francisco. That's what we're going
If I'm going money line, I would take.
I mean, take the Vegas shit out.
Yeah.
Just give me a winner.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If it's just a straight winner,
Yeah.
right now, I gotta go San Francisco.
Okay. All right.
I just think it's their time. They've been so close so many times.
Yeah.
They should have beat Kansas City when Garoppolo was there.
I just think that it's going to be, and I'm not.
I definitely
I'm
could
not
be wrong.
getting and I'm not getting burned again. I am not getting burned again. When everybody was talking about how Kansas City's offense is so trash, and Rashid Rice,
And they weren't good last
and
week.
showing them up. Okay, we've seen how San Francisco, how their defense has reacted. You know, they got Pacheco back there. How their defense has come out. You know, they're giving up yards on the ground. I just think if you give up those type of yards on the ground, or Jahmyr Gibbs with the Montgomery in that combination, to
me,
I can't put it past
Detroit is a better offense than Kansas City.
Yeah,
I think they're a better offensive line
Yeah.
than Kansas City.
Okay,
I actually think their offensive line is.
but we're in
underrated.
agreement that Mahomes is
There's an
much better
equalizer.
than Goff.
Oh fuck yeah!
yeah.
That's not a discussion.
So then we're talking about parts of the entirety of the game, and we're talking about head coach.
But you have Fred Warner against Kelsey.
Yeah.
I mean, San Fran, even without Chase Young, their front matches up with Kansas City's offensive line a lot better than Detroit. Like, that's what I'm saying. Detroit's offensive line kind of dominated that game for spurts. I do not see Kansas City's offensive line doing that. To me, it's going to have to be a Herculean effort out of Patrick Mahomes and the defense, which is not out of the realm of possibility. I don't think they run the ball very well against San Francisco. I also don't think Travis Kelce gets over 100 yards. I think he's going to have some plays. But you have Fred Warner. He's probably the best coverage linebacker in the league, him and Roquan.
Okay.
And JOK. I'll
You
put
got
him
Greenlaw in there too.
in Greenlaw. They have guys there.
Yeah, they have dudes.
Like I said, I think to me, balance-wise, the way, complete, better offense is Detroit. Better quarterback, obviously, is in Kansas City.
Right.
And that's true in this game as well. But also, you have Christian McCaffrey.
You do.
I think their offense is going to do a lot better against that defense than Baltimore did, than Buffalo did. I mean, we're talking about it. We don't think, Diggs is that guy anymore. Mm-hmm. And you're going against Ayuk, Debo, Kittle.
I agree with
Kittle.
you. I think all the talent, it lies with San Francisco.
And I know you don't like Shanahan, but the guy does. I mean, he made fucking Brian Hoyer look good.
Okay.
I think he's going to have a good plan. And
is it going to be better than Andy Reid's plan?
The plan may not be, but he's got the players to make it look better.
Okay. He's got the talent.
Yeah. And he also has, I think Kansas City's defense plays a way that, when they played against Baltimore, they took away Lamar's strength, and their offensive coordinator let him do it. Shanahan's.
Well, that's key though, because
you don't have to.
I don't know if they took away his strength as much as Baltimore just fucked up.
Yeah, right, right.
I mean,
but they were playing exactly into what he wanted to do.
Yeah.
And in this game, Brock Purdy's probably going to throw the ball 28 times. Like, I don't see it. I see this being a 27, 21, 24, 21.
I don't even know what the total is. But
Yeah, I just mean like it's going to be a close game. There's going to be plays made on both sides, and I think it's honestly it's going to come down to who can generate a turnover. And I almost trust. I trust the Niners defense just because I don't trust the Kansas City Chiefs wide receiving core, and I think they have a good isolator against Kelsey.
okay.
Whether it's him and they have good safeties over there in San Francisco, and they have Greenlaw. I mean, they have different matchups that they can do. They can mix stuff up, and whoever the defense coordinator is in San Francisco, this is where you make a paycheck. You got all the pieces, dude.
Right.
Go fuck around.
Find out.
Right.
Right.
But,
okay.
And you probably have Kansas City, and I get it.
And and I just think that Steve Spicoli
Yeah.
he's
a genius.
He's going to do his he's going to get his due.
Yeah.
I mean, he should have got his due before.
Right.
You know, a lot of the stuff against that Cincinnati offense, you know, we've talked about it, and Cincinnati's kind of had their number.
Yeah.
You know, with Burrow. I just think that.
And not the last time they were in Burrowhead, though.
Yeah, Burrowhead's Island, right? I'm gonna take my bias. I'm gonna try to take it out of it, and I'm gonna agree with you that I think San Francisco has the dudes. They have the guys. Okay. I just can't go against a quarterback. I can't go against that quarterback, and I picked against him last year. I picked against Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce and guys that have been there. Mm-hmm. They've been there, done that. And you're a Brady guy, and I get it. That's fine. But we've seen this before in Super Bowls where it was Belichick and Brady, and they weren't giving them a chance.
Right.
And all of a sudden, they fucking win. I can't do
that,
it.
But
I can't do it. I can't go against that.
San Fran has been there. They haven't done it yet.
Yeah.
But they were pretty damn close against this team with Jimmy Garoppolo. And I think this team's better than the team that Jimmy had.
Brock Purdy better than Jimmy Garoppolo?
Yeah.
Okay.
Jimmy G didn't have the arm strength.
Really? Okay.
I think Purdy has a decent arm. He's like no, he's not like fucking Mahomes or Allen or.
Well, my thing with Jimmy G is you can almost always count for that turnover.
Yeah, and
kind of like
with
Tannehill
Purdy, I think he's a
2.0,
better,
right?
Yeah, and I think Purdy's a better athlete. Okay. I also think Purdy doesn't have that gene in him either. I mean, he'll turn the ball over, but it's not like he doesn't in opportune times.
Okay.
He's not Baker Mayfield.
Okay. Except for when he played Baltimore there a few weeks ago.
Oh yeah,
Purdy turned it over 4 times. So, but they were pressing.
Well, that was 4 times. It wasn't.
Yeah.
Go win the game and then
they were pressing
throw it an
Brock
interception
Purdy.
immediately.
So I guess if you're Andy Reid and Steve Spicoli, you're going back to that game and you're saying, how are we disrupting Brock Purdy? How are we turning him into Mr. Irrelevant?
Right.
That's kind of what we.
Well,
need.
that's why you have Trent Williams.
Right.
And that's why you have a running game. I think McCaffrey plays really well in this game.
Okay.
And he's a threat to run it and threaten the screen game. I think, the guys they have on that offense, they have the perfect coordinator for. He's the West Coast screen, play action, run the football, wide zone. I mean, it's hard for me to pick against that. And again, I want to pick like I said, my gut says Kansas City.
Then you need to stick with your gut. Yeah, I mean, you do what you want to do. You trust your gut or you trust your head.
My gut's been wrong before.
I know.
I just think it's time for San Francisco to win.
Okay.
They've been the best roster in the league for like the last 4 years. They were in the Super Bowl, and if Garoppolo doesn't underthrow fucking Kittle, they win that one. Mm-hmm. I think they have a better quarterback than that now. I think he's seasoned enough. He's made some comebacks in the playoffs. Whether or not it was all him, we know that it wasn't. But he never lost composure, and I think that does mean something.
So okay. I'm going to give you that. We got 2 teams that have veterans per se that have been there, done that. Yeah, it's great. Actually, it's actually a lot better than the Baltimore game last week, where I mean, even Roquan Smith and all his bullshit were there with the Bears.
Right.
I mean, and I'm not saying he played an excellent game last week.
Yeah.
But if you're giving the guys that's been there, done that, that's true. I actually didn't think about that as much. I mean, and Trent Williams, yeah,
Been around.
he has been around. John Lynch, as a GM, put this shit together. Kyle Shanahan, the wet noodle.
And like one of my favorite NFC teams is them because I love that helmet. I love the way.
Okay.
I've always liked those teams.
And
Steve Young,
if
Joe
anybody's
Montana.
going to do it, I guess it's going to be Shanahan, right? I mean, why not let it be Shanahan?
I think he's due. I mean, how many times did Buck and his dad, then finally mid-90s they got that run with Terrell Davis and all that. I think this is the year they win it. To me, but like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if Kansas City does because they're trying to. If they win this year, it's a dynasty.
Better team to come back though. We did this with Baltimore. Kansas City off the Super Bowl loss, or the San Francisco 49ers, or the Baltimore Ravens. And I don't think, or Detroit Lions, and I don't think people quite understand how hard it is
To lose a game like that.
well, just to get back there. We saw this shit with Cincinnati. It's like, oh yeah, well, we're going to be back next year. No, you're not.
Yeah.
No, you're not. This is, when you're talking dynasty type level, this is shit that does not happen.
Right.
And of all the sports that there are,
NFL's the hardest.
NFL is the absolute fucking hardest for this to happen. It's just hard. Now, you're seeing it with, Mahomes. You saw it with Brady and Belichick. And now maybe you're seeing it with, I think you're seeing it with, regardless of what happens in this game, I think it's there. And I still give, regardless of what happens in this game, I give Kansas City a better shot to come back next year than I do the San Francisco 49ers. Just because they have the quarterback.
I do too. Yep.
And I don't think it's going to phase them.
Yep. And I think too, like maybe the best odds to get back to the Super Bowl, I give it to Kansas City because it's them. I think San Francisco, regardless of this game, what happens, they're going to be back. It's the NFC. That's not changing. To me, it's not changing a whole lot in the next couple of years.
Right.
Because all the good young quarterbacks, all the good quarterbacks in general, are basically in the AFC.
Bryce Young come back next year.
Yeah, there's a win. So I mean, and like I said, they're not paying him. They have all those guys under contract.
Yes,
and they go out and get more.
And that is a great point. I mean, the fact that you do not you actually are going against what the NFL has become is go draft that rookie quarterback, get him on a rookie deal, and then you have your window.
But how many quarterbacks on the rookie deals won in the last 5 years now?
Mm-hmm.
So, and that's why I said like we're kind of going in a different era now, because I think the defense is caught up. You want to have a balanced team. You want to be able to run the football. You want to have a good defense.
So, are you saying that you need to go and get that quarterback that's like Mr. Irrelevant, so you don't have to pay him much?
That's
at
what
all?
like. People are.
It's a one-off.
Yeah, that's not happening.
It's not. It's a one-off.
It's not happening. One and two, he's the most cushioned quarterback ever.
Yeah. All right.
So if I'm a 49ers fan, even if they win the fucking Super Bowl, because they have five of them, so that'd be number 6.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't want to. I would be like, hey, let's wait to pay this guy until we see what he's.
They're not going to though. I mean, if they win the Super Bowl, he's going to get paid, right?
They don't have to pay him until the
Well,
year
they
after.
don't have to.
Well, I don't even think you can on the rookie deal. Tell that next year. Because this is only a second
You
year.
really going to go to Brock Purdy and say, "Yeah, no, you just want to"?
No, it's not even that they can't extend that contract until the year after.
Oh.
So all right. If I was a 49ers fan, I was like, let's see what happens here, because everybody's riding high off of this and see what he does.
Okay.
I think he's talented enough. I do.
Okay.
But is he good enough to elevate the play of people around him? He's got all pros everywhere. Mm-hmm. To me, Brandon Ayuk is one of the most underrated wide receivers in the NFL. And that's your number 2. Mm-hmm. And you got Debo, you got Kittle, You got McCaffrey.
I'm gonna throw this. This is probably an unpopular opinion. I actually would prefer to have I would actually prefer to have Brandon Ayuk
over Debo.
Yeah,
Me too.
I would.
Yeah, he's number one.
He's your one.
To me, he's like kind of like a Mike Williams.
Yeah,
very underrated, big body.
Not as big as Mike.
Not
Williams,
as big,
right.
but he's a big body, runs good routes, great hands,
great fucking hands,
speed.
Yeah,
you can't just.
Yeah,
you got to play over top of that guy.
Not scared of the moment.
No.
Yeah.
No, he's to me. Brandon Ayuk is a top 10, 15 receiver in the league.
Ayuk is going to be your franchise receiver going forward.
Mm-hmm.
It's not going to be Debo.
No, but he's already been paid for, and
Debo's gonna keep getting fucking hurt.
But he's a 1B, 2A.
Right.
And great. He's a great athlete.
He is a great athlete.
If you have a good offensive coordinator like Shanahan that can gadget him to death,
right.
He can be very.
Or you could just go and get another fucking guy that's like Debo.
But they will.
Right.
But he also, I think he runs good routes as a wide receiver as well.
Uh-huh.
But he's also basically a running back. He's big, he's physical. But, he doesn't stay healthy all the time. But this year, he's had a hell of a year.
Yep.
So, I think, San Francisco, they're not falling off the edge next year.
Okay. All right.
Baltimore, to me.
Who has a better chance to make it back to the Super Bowl next year? San Francisco or Kansas City? Yeah.
Kansas City does.
Yeah. Why?
Mahomes.
And?
Reed.
Yeah. There you go.
Unless he retires.
And he could. He could roll right off in the sunset. That's fine. Still a first ballot.
Yeah. To me, he would have been
He's a first ballot if he wins this or not.
Yeah. To me, he would have been a first ballot if he never won one in Kansas City. To me. I mean, what he did
Probably
in Philadelphia was...
I don't think he is.
As a coach?
I just don't think he is.
I mean, his winning percentage even before then was like 680.
I mean, it's great. I'm not saying that, but for sure, you're definitely getting in. Well, I mean, once
you win one, for sure. But I'm just saying, to me, in my eyes, he was a first ballot.
Because it's different with a coach than it is with a quarterback. When you're talking about quarterbacks,
yeah, you kind of have to have the hardware.
Yeah. I mean, it's different when you
they
have
have
the
the
quarterbacks. Right, exactly. All right. Well, I'm going to move on to a little bit of Browns news here. Kind of make this quick. Apparently, Callahan's out at Cleveland.
Mm-hmm.
And he's going to go ahead and follow his son, newly hired head coach at the Tennessee Titans.
Everybody kind of knew it.
Yeah. Big deal. Not a big deal.
To me, it's like, I wish he was still here, but...
Absolutely.
We had a assistant offensive line coach that's been with him for 4 or 5 years. And I love Bill Callahan. I thought he did a great job. I think he was perfect for the run scheme that we were doing when we had Baker, when we had the wide... he was perfect for that. I think everything that the assistant learned under him should be very valuable. We should be more concerned if he doesn't know how to do his job now after working under him for that many years.
Yeah.
Go work with your son. I love that.
No, that's fine.
I think they'll be all right. Fine. We have. I think a lot of the credit should also go to Andrew Berry for having guys that can step in and play. So I think we'll be all right.
All right.
I'll miss the guy. I love Bill Callahan.
Yeah, no problems at all. And I agree with you. If he wants to go play with his son, is that really elevating his son as the head coach, though, at Tennessee?
I think that as it goes with position coaches in the NFL, offensive line coach,
sure,
and on defense, to me, would be defensive line coach. Those are the two ones that you want to.
But I threw this out to you the other night. Are we in agreement that Tennessee is at least taking a step back for a year or two?
They have to.
They have to, regardless of who you have.
Houston's just going to get better.
Yeah, you got Stroud.
And Jacksonville's there. They're not gonna fall off a cliff.
No. Indy.
And Indy's always good.
Yeah.
So, solid. They're going to be right around 500 all the time.
Richardson. Whether he comes back next year,
they're going to be solid.
Okay.
Indy's defense is. They're going to be. That's not going to be an easy team to play.
They have a very, very aging group of players there.
Indy?
No. Tennessee.
Oh, yeah. And they haven't really surplus that with any really good drafts in the last couple of years.
Right.
I think Will Levis could be a guy.
He could be. I don't
But
think
it's
he's
gonna-
going to.
Yeah, but
I think Will Levis
he's
is
not. He's not like a CJ Stroud that can elevate the whole franchise.
No, I mean Will Levis is. They talked about him leading the SEC.
Talk about Ryan Tannehill. That's probably him.
Yeah, leading the SEC in turnovers at Kentucky. That's Will Levis, and we saw it.
But he could also throw for 350 and 4
he
touchdowns.
could. Yes, he could. But I
Ryan
don't.
Tannehill. That's him in Arkansas.
I just don't think he's the guy. I don't think Levis is the guy. I don't know.
He's
He
gonna be
might-
the guy next year.
You think so? They're staying there. All right.
I
They're
would.
not drafting a quarterback.
I mean, where are they picking?
I don't
Like
know.
8?
No, probably less than that, right? I don't know. I'm not sure. You have to bring it up.
I mean, I just don't see how the upgrade there.
I mean, if you're Tennessee and you're down there, you have to go. And the other thing is too. Well, I didn't think about
They
this.
drafted
Did they give anything up for Hopkins?
not a first round.
Not a first. No, I know that, but
They have 7 picks. Hold on. Just give me the goddamn. All right, I'll just get the draft.
that's perfect. That's fine. NFL Draft 2024.
They're not in the top 8.
Wow.
I mean, they were 7 and 10. That's
I love the ads.
right. Tennessee. Oh, they're 7. They're 7.
Oh, okay. Right before Atlanta, then.
Yeah, I don't. To me, I mean, you could draft a quarterback that could change it, but like to me, I would just build around Will. Get a wide receiver there.
Okay.
To me, I mean, they don't really have the skill to make any quarterback they draft look good.
How about a corner?
Or a corner,
Or safety.
or a defensive end, or something like that.
A corner. Like a really good corner. Like the kid from fucking Iowa, maybe? He's not going to go that high, but
The white guy?
yeah.
Oh yeah,
The Great White Hope.
yeah,
He's not going to go that high.
Probably
He's
not.
not getting drafted. That guy's fucking white.
right.
He's not going at number 7. Okay. So we're throwing it out there. So, all right. The other thing is too, you got this video queued up. Well, before that, the other big hire I think since we talked last time was Ken Dorsey
Yeah,
being hired as the new Browns offensive coordinator. How's your feelings about that? Did he elevate Josh Allen?
yeah. They
Yeah?
were like number 1 in efficiency in passing. They were
Okay.
number 1. The one thing they didn't do well there was run the ball. Nick Chubb. I mean, how was our run game after he went out? And our offensive line was banged up. I'm not worried about our run game with him. I think what they wanted to do was go get a guy that could transform our offense a little bit. And to me, Deshaun Watson is a Josh Allen type quarterback. Other than we're not gonna run the ball with him that much.
No, because he don't have that build.
No.
And I don't want him to do that.
No, I don't want him to do that either. He should have 3 or 4 runs a game, and 2 of those should be scrambles.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Playing scrambles.
No,
I
like
mean,
2 of those should
building.
be QB runs, like options or RPOs.
Oh,
or
okay.
whatever.
Okay.
And 2 of them should be just him getting out of the pocket and getting 5-6 yards.
Right.
Uh,
And not getting fucking leveled at the helmet.
yes, and not trying to truck a Tennessee Titans safety with your
Sure.
throwing shoulder. Which, believe me, I love it, but
Stop it.
yeah, you're here to throw the goddamn ball. What's up, Jesse? Again, I'd say it again, and Bud. I don't see these comments unless I go to my page on our restream here. So if you want to switch over to the RawDawgers header on Facebook so I can see those.
It's fine.
But Bears don't take Caleb Williams. They should jump on Fields.
That's a whole discussion.
Yeah,
we're
to me,
gonna
the
have.
Bears should keep Fields and get Marvin Harrison.
Nobody knows what the Bears going to do.
Yeah, which I wouldn't even like be mad at them for going and get Caleb Williams, but to me, trade back, go to number 2, get Marvin Williams, or Marvin Harrison, and build around him. I mean, I think Justin Fields would be a great NFL quarterback if you actually build around him. And build
Atlanta.
offense. Yeah. But and if you want to trade him, Atlanta would be perfect for that. But now I don't remember what we were talking about.
Well, we were talking about Ken Dorsey at OC.
Oh, Ken Dorsey. Yeah, no, I think we'll be fine there. I love it. I think it's exactly what we need. Kind of modernize what Kevin was doing with a mobile quarterback. I think it's going to be perfect.
Is Ken Dorsey calling the plays?
I don't really think it matters. If he does, he does. But I also think...
Was that a discussion in Andrew Berry's office?
Probably. I mean, I think that... people think that Kevin has this ego about calling plays. I just think he was better at it than AVP. Okay. If he calls the plays, he calls the plays. If he don't, he don't. I think, regardless, we're going to be a 10 to 13 win team next year.
Is there any way that Stefanski, speaking of ego, hands off, like Ken Dorsey call the plays?
I don't care.
I mean, I don't really care in the grand scheme.
I think Kevin's a great play caller. Everybody
You're
bitches
saying
about
he
it.
doesn't have an ego.
Yeah.
So can he let that go?
I think he can, but to me, what's the point?
Okay.
Ken Dorsey's coming in here to Bears do historically make bad decisions. They have so many decisions to make that one of them has to hit in the first round. But I think it'll work great. Whether whoever's calling the plays, I really don't give a fuck. I think either one of them will do a better job or do a good job. And everybody that's worried about Nick Chubb not being here next year, I think that he'll be here next year. I really think this team is a 10 to 13 win team.
Okay.
Regardless of what happens, I don't know what happens at backup quarterback. We could bring Joe back, but I also think even if we have DTR there, I think we'll be fine. I think he's got another year under his belt. The
Browns could go and draft another quarterback.
Yeah, and they could. Why wouldn't they?
We don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, Belichick and New England did it every
year.
Fucking year.
Yeah. And right now the plan is Deshaun Watson, but at the same time, if he fucks up next year and we need to go do something else, I think the front offices will figure out a way to go do that. We've never had this where everything around the quarterback is this good. Mm-hmm. We just won 11 games with 4 different quarterbacks. Right. I mean, it'll take a catastrophe, I think, for us to win less than 9 games next year. So I really like the hire. I do like the hire.
Bet the over.
Yeah, because it's going to be 9.5.
Bet the over.
It's going to be 9.5 because it's Deshaun, even though he lost 1 game last year.
Right.
Right. So,
how many did Baker lose?
8. Oh. Well, 9.
Okay.
Counting the playoffs.
Oh. Yeah. But we won the playoff game
against the Eagles, who didn't win for a month and a half before going into that game.
I had to throw that shit out there. Yeah, it's fine.
Well, I was like, oh, we could be there. Yeah, we could be there. How awesome would it be to play another team that didn't win for a month going into the playoffs?
All right. I do want to, speaking of Chubb, though, I do want to bring this footage up of Andrew Berry when he's and Andrew Berry is doing the things that a GM should do. Mm-hmm. He was talking about Nick Chubb. They asked him about Nick Chubb, and I agree. He's saying, yeah, Nick Chubb, don't you think you should be using those fucking crutches, Batman? That's what Andrew Berry should do. And he's also you got to listen to the end of it, though, because all the bullshit is happening with, here's how I kind of read it. But this is Andrew Berry doing his thing. If Nick Chubb, and we're already expecting him not to be back for week 1 next year, and it could be different.
Yeah,
could be different. Well, I'm just saying. I'm going
ACL
off
and MCL injuries are 9 months.
Okay. All right. That's fine. Is Minka Fitzpatrick going to be there?
I hope. I actually hope we fucking start out with Pittsburgh. That's what I want
on a
so
Monday
bad.
night?
Monday night, Sunday night, I don't give a fuck.
Okay.
My dicks will be out.
Okay. So go ahead and play the video, though, Andrew.
Right.
Wish I could hear the volume.
You would have never guessed that Nick was out for the season with how he operated within the building. I mean, he was in. It was like he was doing 2-a-day practices for for rehab. And I remember a quick story. We were in LA for the Rams game, and he was in the player suite. I happened to pop up in there, and the suite, it's like humongous. First of all, it's like it might be like 30 yards in length, and he was walking, to go get food, but it's a pretty long walk. But he wasn't using his crutches, and I was like, Nick, are you being stubborn? And you're not. He's like, no, it actually like feels pretty good. Like they're saying. I was like, Nick, if you're supposed to be on your crutches, be on your crutches. Well, we come back from the trip, and then the next day, Dr. Voos, they had like put out this like tape because they were going to just test how he was, and they're like, oh no, officially, like he doesn't need to be on his crutches anymore. Like he had walked the whole thing, it was normal. And I share that, like he's still very early in his rehab process, but like the tenacity at which he has attacked his rehab, and which he did everything in his power this year to heal himself, but also make a positive impact with the team. It culminated. You guys know he's not like a super talkative person, but for him to do the whole Batman thing, in front of the Jets game, it's like he wanted to do everything in his power to help the team win. So, I would, in terms of Nick moving forward, obviously I understand that's a little bit the elephant in the room. Nick, I can say for myself, no one in the organization, I understand our family. Nobody wants to see, that carry in Pittsburgh, be the last time he carries the ball for the Cleveland Browns. And, obviously there are things that we'll have to work through, but, that would not be our intention as well. We obviously will work to keep him on the team.
All right, that was Andrew Berry. Sean here has a different input of what he meant by this conversation, but to me, I honestly think that Nick Chubb's going to be back here. I don't figures number wise what the contract's going to be. I really don't give a shit. I just really think Nick Chubb doesn't want to leave Cleveland. There's people that I know that know where he lives in a goddamn apartment complex. Apparently nobody goes there. He never has parties. He never does nothing. What he does is wakes up at 5 o'clock in the morning, goes to the facility in Berea, works all day, and comes home. The man is literally like, if you could have 53 of him, you're winning a Super Bowl. And I think he loves being a Cleveland Brown. I think Nick Chubb respects the hell out of what Jim Brown was. As a Cleveland Brown, he loves like taking that mantle, and he's going to be back. Him, Deshaun Watson, Amari Cooper. Maybe we throw in T. Higgins in the bunch. Maybe we throw
I like it.
Mike Evans, something like that in the bunch.
Well, we haven't even talked about free agency, but
Yeah, and that'll be maybe a discussion for a different day. But the Browns, we're still not in cap hell. I mean, they have plenty of moves they can make. The cap's going to go up probably another $15-20 million this year.
At least.
So, to me, like I said, we got another. The window is not fucking closed at all. Just like the Ravens haven't closed. We have a solid core of players here, and then next year we'll have our first round pick in a few years. So,
All right.
we'll keep I think the Browns are here to stay.
Well, my only thing about, and this was kind of my clip, my only thing about Andrew Berry, he's doing Andrew Berry things, which that's what your GM's supposed to do. He's supposed to meet the media.
Yeah.
And he's basically addressing, whether Nick Chubb will be there next year.
Well, did we not have this?
There.
Did we not have this discussion about him getting his extension?
Yeah.
And then he came out and got like the 6th highest paid running back extension because Nick Chubb isn't there for the money. Like
No.
He's going to make the money he's going to make, but I think he just wants to be here.
Well, it's not a matter of that. So you're saying that Nick Chubb's going to go ahead and sign a contract that is not.
He's not going to be a number 1 paid running back in the league.
No, and he should. Well, running backs. We know what running backs aren't really.
Even if he
paid.
is, it's not really going to be that much.
It doesn't matter.
No,
it doesn't matter. So Nick Chubb's in it for. He's in it to win. Now he's got to that point in his career. He's in it to win, right?
I think he's been that the whole time.
Okay, and that's
we
why
just won 11 games.
That's why he's a great teammate.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and I think they respect that enough that they're going to pay him $10 to $14 million a year to be here. Because I don't care what you say, even with that horrible injury, like if you listen to what Andrew Berry said about him, I mean, hell, he's coming back quick from it. And they even said it wasn't as bad as it may have looked when they went in to do the surgery.
Yeah.
So, like, a guy that's already done it, he's only 27, and the way he's built, the way that he works, like, if anybody come back from that, it's him.
I agree.
And I think, yeah, they're going to draft a running back at some point.
Yeah, I was going to ask you. They're drafting a running back, right?
Okay, and they'll probably do that every year, too.
Yeah,
Until they hit
true.
one that could be the next bell cow.
Yeah.
But also, I think Nick Chubb's one of those guys like an Adrian Peterson where
Ooh, good.
for 12 years he's going to be a top 3-5 running back in the league.
I mean, Adrian Peterson.
He came back from an ACL injury
He
better
did.
than ever.
He did, but he's the one-off in my mind. I'm not saying Nick Chubb's not going to be that guy.
That's, to me, Nick Chubb's a one-off as well.
Okay.
He did that with his knee injury in Georgia. That's why he got him in the second round.
Right.
I think he's going to do it right here.
Okay. Not like Sony Michel, his teammate.
Yeah, and he's not going to beat the shit out of his kid because he doesn't have one. Good for you, Nick. Take that money and run, brother.
All right. So maybe I'm reading too much in the tea leaves here. What Andrew Berry's really putting down, but if Nick Chubb isn't ready, Nick Chubb's not ready, and at that point, then you have to start having that discussion.
Well, like I said, I think they're going to
Because
draft
Jerome
somebody.
Ford ain't that fucking guy.
No, but I would also like to see him with a not beat the fuck up offensive line.
Jerome Ford, you mean?
Yeah.
Okay. That's fair enough.
Because I think the last few weeks of the season, he was fine. But he's like when the Patriots had Corey Dillon, like he's your Kevin Falk.
Okay. But Jerome Ford's not coming out of the backfield.
God damn it.
Because he drops the ball too fucking much.
Well, and
We
that,
talked about this.
yeah, so did David Njoku, but look where we are now. He's probably a top 3 tight end in the
Pro
league.
bowler.
Yeah. God damn it. Why am I sneezing? What is in there?
I don't know. Nose candy.
It'd be a lot cleaner than this. But no, to me, they're going to draft somebody, and they might even get like a Dalvin Cook or something like that to bring in to be that veteran backup. I think the offensive lines will be a lot healthier next year.
How bad is mercenary Dalvin Cook right now? Did
he even play in the?
Yeah, I don't know if he. No, but he didn't play because
I didn't see him in that AFC
they only
title
got.
game.
They only had six running plays, right?
Yeah,
with
something like that.
Justice Hill and Gus Edwards. Dalvin Cook, how fucking pissed is that guy? You called 6 plays, I couldn't even get in the game.
Yeah, we could have used him in Cleveland.
Yeah,
I think Baltimore just literally offered him more money to make sure he didn't come to Cleveland.
right,
Which, hey, that's what you do as a GM as well.
right,
And Andrew Berry was like, fuck that.
right.
I get. Fuck, he wouldn't have been the difference between us beating fucking Houston. I put that solely on the shoulders of Schwartz. But again,
And we were high on Schwartz.
oh, I'm still high on him.
We're still
But that
high-
was
we were
a,
high
that was
on
a
him all
horrible
year.
day, and it was Schwartz and fucking Greg Newsom.
Yeah, we couldn't motivate because
I don't even know if it was motivation. I just think it was
Schwartz less than.
Well, and I also
motivate.
think the whole team thought they were just going to run through Houston
Right,
like they did.
because it just happened a couple weeks before.
Yeah, that was like it was all at the same time was
A culmination of bullshit.
culmination of bullshit.
Yeah, agreed.
But, fourth quarterback. Fuck. How many times have the Browns made the playoffs in my life? Well, 94, 02, 20. So 4 times in 31 years.
All right.
I'll take that anytime.
All right, let's move along here. Browns news will keep you posted, of course. But Harbaugh now, so we got the video of this too, and I had to bring this up because two different times, we all know that Harbaugh is now the head coach of
The Chargers
the Chargers,
that we called.
right? Everybody was calling it.
Yeah.
I mean, we had 8 coaching vacancies a couple weeks ago, and of course, Harbaugh gets the pick of the litter, right?
Yeah, he's doing his Pete Carroll.
Yeah.
3 years from now, nobody's going to give a fuck that he cheated.
Well, and what's going to matter is can Harbaugh turn the Chargers into what we feel the Chargers should be?
And
Probably.
I think we've talked about this.
Yeah.
We both think that he's a good coach.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't think the cheating thing was, but they broke the rules. To me, they should face the punishments.
Right.
We face the punishments for people getting fucking tattoos and selling the pants that they won.
Right.
In 2008, 9, or whatever with Tressel. He's still a good coach. He had a successful run in San Francisco as an NFL head coach.
He did. Kaepernick.
Yep. And
Alex Smith. Kaepernick.
Yeah. They're going to have a good program there. I think AFC West, to me, they're a sleeper team to win that division next year. I think Kansas City's still going to be a 10, 11, 12-win team.
Yeah.
But they have enough talent there already in LA.
There should be enough. There's a lot of talent there.
Yeah.
They're also,
and they have a good draft pick.
Speaking of the cap, though, they are kind of in cap hell, and I brought this.
That could be worked.
To you. It could be.
That could be worked.
It could be. They're leaving him with a lot of fucking cap hell going.
But they still have a top draft pick. That's not going to hit your cap.
The biggest thing is that we know of all these head coaching vacancies that they have the franchise guy. They have
they have
Justin
Herbert.
Herbert. All right. So that makes the biggest difference.
And he's kind of a quarterback whisperer.
Yeah.
He was great with Luck at Stanford.
Right.
He was great with Kaepernick and Smith in San Francisco. He turned around, I don't know if people don't remember this, but he turned around Alex Smith's career. Mm-hmm. He was a bust in San Francisco.
Right.
For a lot of years.
Heisman winner, right?
Yeah. Utah.
Yeah.
Urban Meyer.
Yeah.
But he turned around Alex Smith's career.
Okay.
Then he got to go to Kansas City and played really well there. Won 10, 11 games every year. Went to the playoffs. They're going to be good next year.
Yeah.
I don't think that's the same old Chargers either.
Better than the Raiders? Who's finishing up in that division? Because
I mean, right now, if I were to look at it, I would say you have Chargers, Chiefs, Raiders. Who else is out there? Denver at the bottom.
Denver's definitely at the bottom,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So Denver's definitely at the bottom. I'm going to put the Chargers right above them. God, I mean, it's kind
I
of
like the Raiders too.
It's kind of a toss up there.
I really like them bringing back Pierce as their head coach.
Yep.
That could be a surprise team very well to me. I think, the quarterback situation is the one thing they'll have to figure out.
I think I'm going to put the Chargers above the Raiders.
Yeah.
Right now, I'm going to put them there.
And I get, Chiefs, Chargers, but like to me, the Chargers have a better roster.
Yeah.
They have a comparable coach.
Yeah. Now.
Yeah. Now. Especially offensive coach. He's got a good offensive mind, especially NFL mind with Herbert.
All right. I want to play this video, though, getting back to this. So, Harbaugh was actually on the Cowherd show, and then he was on another show within 4 days, and he's talking about, there's the sands through the hourglass. I mean, he needs to get a fucking publicist.
Yeah.
And come up with new content.
Well, the least weird one is fucking not Jim, but fucking
John
Harbaugh in Baltimore. He's like the only dude that, but he's the younger brother.
Yeah,
I'm that guy too, right. So I get it.
So go ahead and play the video though.
Right.
I love Michigan, but I love the NFL too. And there's no Lombardi Trophy in college football, and I got so many sands left in the hourglass, and I want to take a crack at that. And there's nowhere better to do it than with the Los Angeles Chargers and this great quarterback.
Yeah, so have you talked to him?
I have. Derwin James, I mean, pros, these guys, Keenan Allen. But I was a little starstruck.
So basically Harbaugh is using that sands through the hourglass. Can I ask you this? How many episodes of Days of Our Lives has Jim Harbaugh ever fucking watched? Because
all of them.
3 different days. I mean, he's got a 3-day span here.
I mean, he was playing quarterback for the Colts in Jim Irsay's younger days, so I'm sure there was a lot of cocaine being involved.
It was, yeah, true. So, I agree with you, though. We're calling it now, RawDawgers Sportscast. He's pulling the Pete Carroll card. It's
Yeah.
coming out.
He's going to do what he did in
Pete
Seattle.
Carroll- yeah.
Pete Carroll did in Seattle. That's going to be a good franchise.
And
for the next
now,
10, 15
though,
years.
here's the other thing, though. He doubled down today talking about how NFL scouts going to be blown away at the combine, and J.J. McCarthy's going to go number 1. He actually did this. I should have brought the video up.
Dude.
And
we all have our opinions on Caleb Williams.
Yeah.
Nobody's beating
Drake
that guy.
May.
Yeah.
Him
and Drake May are going to be
Bo
1-2.
Nix.
Well, Bo Nix might drop.
That's fine.
But who's the Washington guy? Well, because
Yeah,
Bo Nix
Michael
is like
Penix.
28.
Michael Penix. Right?
Penix.
Michael
Like,
Penix.
To me, those are the top 3.
I mean, J.J. McCarthy's not going above any of those 4.
If you draft J.J. McCarthy in the first round,
Yeah.
second round, okay.
Ah,
If you need a quarterback and that's the guy you want, get him in the second round.
okay.
You know what I mean? Go get your guy.
He's going to be this year's Will Levis, right?
Yeah, yeah. And he's never impressed me as a quarterback.
No.
And that about Alabama
basically-
game was not impressive.
No. So
Other than one drive.
Harbaugh, though, I have to give it to him, though, is sticking up for his guy.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah. I
he's
get it.
coming out.
Believe me, I
Yeah,
get it.
I get it. But he is not going above any of those 4 quarterbacks. And I'm still going to stand strong on this. There's going to be some obscure fucking quarterback that's going to perform at the combine, and he's going to Trey Lance. He's going to Trey Lance his ass, or Zach Milson his ass, all the way up to inside the top 3-4.
Yeah.
It's going to happen.
Yeah. Well, and there's going to be 5 quarterbacks taken in the top 20.
That's the NFL we live in.
Yeah. You got to have a quarterback.
But
Go
J.J.
get your guy.
McCarthy is not going to be one of those guys.
No, he could be your
It's
Russell
gonna be your-
Wilson. He
it's-
could go
it's-
get him in the
it's-
second or third.
It's going to be
fourth
your
round.
one-off
Yeah.
that we're talking about.
nobody-
Mel Kiper's big board, and it's going to be those other 4.
Well, and to me, like with the teams that actually need quarterbacks, I don't see any one of them like reaching that far for that.
Right.
I'd rather take Penix. I'd rather take somebody.
He's not even talking about him going
Yeah.
in the
Right,
first round. He's
right.
saying number one overall.
No fucking way, dude.
Because he's going to blow people away at the combine.
Unless he runs a 4-1.
No, he's still not. I don't care. He could throw. He could.
But
he
I mean,
could
like
throw
a
10
Richardson situation.
Yeah, he could
Like,
be.
unless he's the best athlete you've ever seen.
And we know he's not that.
No, and he's not. He's a good athlete.
Yeah, I'm not saying he's not.
But he's not that.
So, all right.
Yeah, we're on the same page there.
I agree with you. So, switching it up a little bit. Seahawks have their guy, Mike McDonald, as the
That's
head coach. The defensive coordinator,
For the Bucks? Or for the Ravens, right?
Ravens.
Right.
The defensive coordinator, Mike McDonald.
Yeah.
They're going defense,
I did
just
see
like with Pete Carroll.
Yep.
That little island that is the Seahawks. They're gonna go ahead and stick with the defensive coordinator and Dan Quinn, Dallas defensive coordinator, formerly the Atlanta head coach.
Mm-hmm.
He goes and takes the Washington job.
Told you he could be a head coach candidate.
Yeah. No, and I agree with that.
Yeah.
But so what was the worst job that was taken? Probably Washington. Because they haven't developed anybody.
No, and they got rid of a lot of talent on defense.
Yeah. They have a lot of picks.
Yeah.
They have a lot of picks. They got a lot of cap.
They don't really have a lot of high picks.
No.
Not like super high. They have second, third round.
Yeah,
picks.
well, they have a first round. They have a first
But they-
round in there.
They're not Chicago. You don't
Right.
have multiple first round picks.
The problem with Washington is I feel like
They don't have the quarterback solved. I think
that's the problem.
they have a quarterback that, like, they have a bridge quarterback. He can go out there and play, but he's not going to win you a Super Bowl. He's not going to win you a division.
Okay. So here's my advice to Washington right now and Dan Quinn, and I know he's the defensive coordinator guy. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Right now, their defense is not good because you've given away.
Chase Young, Sweat.
Okay.
Yeah.
So my advice to Washington is because I kind of feel for them post Dan Snyder era that now you have all these
Changing
picks.
their name
You have
fucking
all
era.
this cap money.
Yeah.
No. On top of all that, I think that would really solidify a lot of shit there. I'm just reverting the name back. But if you could get, you talk about momentum and a crowd of people, just revert that name. I feel like Washington is kind of like the Browns 10 years ago.
Yeah,
Tell me if I'm wrong.
that's exactly
Because
what
they have a ton of picks.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, we'll have to see what their front office.
They have
is
cap,
do.
right?
Yeah.
They have cap.
But we had multiple first-round picks.
Yeah.
But we got Njoku. And even Jabril Peppers is actually a player.
Yeah.
I mean, he was good when he was here in Cleveland, and he was good in New England.
Right.
Who was the other one in that first round? They had 3.
Washington or the Browns?
We did. We had Jabril
Justin
Peppers.
Gilbert?
No, that was Manziel. No, we had fucking Jabril Peppers, Njoku. Was it fucking
Myles Garrett.
Was it Myles Garrett? That might have been that draft.
Number 1 overall.
I think
That's
you
it.
might be right.
That's it.
Yeah.
So I guess what I'm saying is that
You're gonna have to hit 1 or 2. You're gonna have to.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I said. They don't have a lot of top draft picks. They have second, third rounders,
Yeah.
but you don't have. Like Chicago has multiple first round picks,
right.
and you can still hit gems in the second, third round. First 3 rounds, that's where most of the good players.
And I
in the
guess
NFL.
it matters. And I don't know this. I don't know who the GM is there now. We could probably look it up. I don't know who the GM is at the Redskins, Washington. I don't know. I mean, you had Rivera there, right? Now you're going to Dan Quinn.
I like him as a head coach. I thought he did good in
That's
Atlanta.
fine. Yeah. And a lot of people.
But you got to have a quarterback. You have to have a. And
That
to me,
is the league now.
and they had Jacoby Brissett, and like the one game he played, he fucking balled out.
Right.
That to me, like, if they really want to be serious about contending this year, with all the draft capital they have and the money they have to spend, start him. Win 8-9 games. Get some positive momentum going into the next year, and then you can do whatever you want. You know what I mean? Because Jacoby's a player, dude.
All right. So, I'm going to throw this out there to you. NFC East. How's that lining up next year? And remember, we got the parity going on with the NFL.
Yeah. So to me, the NFC East next year, I think Dallas wins that.
I do. I agree.
Then I think it's Philly. Then I think it's Washington. Then I think it's the Giants.
So the NFC East, though, has it become the NFC South?
No. The top
Because
2
it
teams
just
are
was.
good.
It just was a few years ago.
Yeah, it was.
It was.
No, I think the NFC East and the NFC West are
Brian
the best.
Dable and the Giants are making a resurgence.
No. Fuck no.
So they're still finishing last.
Yeah.
So Washington's with Dan Quinn's finishing above.
They're
the Giants.
paying Daniel Jones, Baker Mayfield money right now.
I know. By the way, did you see the reports that Baker's going to get $4 million a year? $40 million a year.
Good luck with that. For how many? For 2?
No, they're not even saying that.
Yeah. I'd say for 2 years.
Yeah.
You give him a 2-year contract. I mean,
I
he's
agree
going
with
into year 8 now, and has not put 2 back-to-back years good together.
And he hasn't been to a Cheesecake Factory the whole time.
Has not been to a Cheesecake Factory and got his dick sucked. But he has made a lot of game-ending interceptions.
I did not believe that Baker Mayfield was going to sniff $40 million, but we have the cap.
We were talking about him getting 35 before he left Cleveland.
Yeah, but we have the cap now. So you're talking about the report that I read. He's going to get more money than what his agent's actually asking.
Oh, do it.
I would do it. Yeah, fine.
No, I wouldn't do it, but do it. I will laugh at it.
Right.
That's a horrible division, and
it is a horrible division.
As long as the Saints have Dennis Allen as their head coach, that's their division to win. Because the Saints are the best team in that division.
Well, Dennis Allen's out.
Is he out?
Yeah.
Who got that job?
He just got hired as the Pittsburgh offensive coordinator.
Wasn't he a defense? I thought he was a defensive coordinator.
No, he got hired as the offensive coordinator.
No, that was
Dennis Smith.
That was Smith from the Falcons.
Oh, I thought that's what you were talking about.
No, the Saints head coach.
Oh yeah, Dennis Allen. Yeah,
you have fucking your quarterback out there doing a fake kneel giving the ball off.
To Jameis.
Yeah, Jameis is my favorite. Fuck it. I love that guy. But if you're the head coach of that team and the backup quarterback has enough balls to override your call, you're not a good head coach.
Yeah.
I still think the Saints are the best team in that. I think talent-wise, they're the best team in that division.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe not offensively, but like that defense is
Are
good.
they like the Chargers of the Deep South?
Yes. They are the Chargers.
Of the Deep South, right?
And, he's been a fucking horrendous addition to the Broncos, but Sean Payton had a good ship running there in New Orleans. But I just go pay Baker and see how that makes you feel. Especially, dude, if they do more than 2 years,
I think it's 2 years.
there's going to be a lot of crying Jordans.
I think it's 2. Oh, yeah. Yeah. It's 2 years. But here's my thing, too. We keep talking about Justin Fields and the possibility of the Bears making that trade to Atlanta.
Yeah.
What if Justin Fields goes to Atlanta? Then all of a sudden you're playing in a dome.
Oh, dude, Justin Fields would be a dog there. They have talent everywhere.
Right.
If I was Atlanta, that's what I would do.
I feel like Atlanta's a quarterback away.
Yeah.
There's a lot of teams that could be said that. You could say that about
Who's their
a lot
head
of
coach
teams.
now? Who'd they get?
Yeah. I don't know.
They should have got, to me, I thought that was the landing spot for fucking Belichick.
Vrabel.
And Vrabel. It was them two for me. But who the fuck did they get?
Morris. We talked about Morris.
Raheem Morris. And he was the interim coach there for...
Yes, after Dan Quinn.
Yeah. Which he's a former player. And I will never say it's a bad hire for a team to get an ex-player, especially an ex-player that's played in the last 10 or 15 years.
Dry Mayo.
Yeah. No, I like that New England.
Okay.
Hell of a fucking
They
coordinator.
just hired Alex Van Pelt.
The Patriots did? Oh. Well, I kept seeing that. I kept seeing that he was supposed to be Baker's new OC.
No. The Patriots, shout out Josh Meyer, who just texted me today. He's like, we don't want that fucking guy.
Dude, AVP's good. I have nothing against AVP. But I like, to me, it was always like, we need an upgrade. We need a different point of view.
Okay.
Because AVP and Kevin had like the same West Coast, Kirk Cousins, play action, wide zone, 2 tight end. Like that's what they were brought up with.
Yeah, Patriots just hired Alex Van Pelt.
Yeah, and I think that'll work for them.
As OC.
Especially if they keep Mac Jones. They need that.
They're getting a quarterback.
Oh yeah, they better.
They're getting a fucking quarterback in New England.
But that's the type of offense that makes offense easy. That's why Baker looked good in it.
Everybody thinks, looking back, Mac Jones fell in the fucking Patriots' lap, but he really didn't.
Dude, if I was them, I would have took Justin Fields immediately.
And from what I understand, Justin Fields was in play, but the Bears jumped up ahead of them and they got him.
I thought they swapped, didn't they?
Yeah.
15 and 17 or something?
Yeah. So then Belichick was left holding the bag.
Well, and that's why I do get why nobody hired him as a head coach if he wanted to have the same power he had in New England.
Uh-huh.
He's not the same. He's not a GM. To me, he would have been the perfect head coach for the Falcons.
Okay.
Because they are there. They're young. They have a lot of talent everywhere.
I agree.
Defense, offense. You're like 2 or 3 additions. You're Justin Fields, maybe a left tackle, and
the defense
a defensive lineman. Yeah.
Defense
and they have all the money in the world.
And they have the offensive weapons.
And their fucking owner
and you have a fucking division that you can rattle.
Yes.
You can fucking throttle that fucking division.
Yeah. Nobody dominated that division.
Think about this. You have Justin Fields in the division now with Love and Jared Goff.
Yeah.
And Kirk Cousins. We know what's going to happen there.
But they were 4-0 before he died. Got hurt.
But what I'm saying is you have this. Mm-hmm. Then you go to the South. And now you have
division.
You have Tampa with Baker.
Yeah.
You have Carolina with Bryce Young.
Yeah.
You have the Saints with Derek Carr.
Have a winning record, and you'll beat Baker.
Right. It could have happened. All right. All right, so we like Dan Campbell, or not Dan Campbell, Dan Quinn.
I do. I think he's a good head coach.
Okay, what
Just needs to get
I
a
like
quarterback.
that too, but
The Washington thing, that's a top down thing. That's like where we were in, like you said, in 2014.
I agree.
But I think, everybody wants to bitch about our God damn it. Our ownership now. I like our ownership now. He's basically out of the way.
Can I ask you this question real quick? Where's Eric Bieniemy in all this?
Why is he not
Nobody is fucking talking about Eric Bieniemy.
I thought he did a hell of a job
Did
in
he
Washington.
burn his fucking ass?
I thought he did a hell of a job in Washington.
Okay, that's fine.
He made fucking Sam Howell look like a good quarterback.
Ugh, getting sacked every
Well,
other
but
play.
he threw for fucking like 4,000 yards.
Because he had to.
But again, still threw for 4,000 yards. And there was games where he had 400 yards and 4 touchdowns.
Right.
The offensive game plan wasn't the problem there.
But
We've talked about it. I said
why
Bieniemy
the
cannot.
fuck is what?
He's not a head coach.
Did God take his thumb and remove Eric Bieniemy from the fucking earth?
But just like he's not a head coach, fucking who was the defensive coordinator for the Steelers for all those years?
Oh yeah,
The old guy,
Titans.
LeBeau, Dick LeBeau.
Dick LeBeau. Yeah.
He's not a head coach, but he's a fucking coordinator.
Okay.
Just like the defensive coordinator for the Chiefs right now.
Right.
There's guys like that. I think
Spicoli.
Bieniemy's that guy. To me, Bieniemy is a great offensive coordinator, and I'm not going to back down on that.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, are we going to get all that fucking heat about all the bullshit? Like Eric Bieniemy should have been in the fucking room. Nobody's talking about. Nobody's talking about.
Good. Nobody's talking about him.
No.
'Cause he
What I'm
doesn't
saying
deserve
is the Rooney Rule and whatnot. Nobody is talking about fucking Eric Bieniemy this year.
Yeah.
What the fuck
It's
is
not
going
Kansas City.
on?
He's not in Kansas City. They didn't win any games.
Okay. All right.
But
So
but I know what you're talking about. If they would have won 8, 9, 10 games, it'd be talked about. Right?
Okay. So he tied his shit over to Riverboat Ron with a fucking tugboat,
Yeah.
and he sank his ass. Is that what you're saying?
Okay, but I mean, even Andy Reid said that he was calling 80% of those plays.
I'm talking about the media pundits.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. If they would have won games, it'd be a different story. You know it would.
Mm-hmm.
Because they don't have anything to tie that to. If they would have won 8 or 9 games, if they would have been competitive, if they
I mean,
would
you're
have
not
been in the
tying it
playoffs.
to a guy with fucking cancer. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, no. I
That's
guess.
basically what you're saying.
No, he had to win games. They didn't win games. To me, Eric Bieniemy is a hell of an offensive coordinator. And I've said
Nobody is talking about him like
Right.
they have the last 2 fucking
Well,
years.
and to me, I almost thought that the Browns would hire him as offense coordinator. Because to me,
Good.
right, and to me, what he did with Patrick Mahomes, that would have fit very well with Deshaun.
Right.
But I also like Ken Dorsey because Josh Allen. I mean, they're all that same breed to me. You know, people want to say Deshaun's like a 28
I'm
quarterback.
just
in the
waiting
league.
for I'm waiting for Eric Bieniemy shit to start hitting the fucking fan here about March, April. Why isn't Eric Bieniemy getting fucking interviewed?
Well,
where
all
the
the-
fuck were you
All the
guys
vacancies
3 months
are
ago?
done. All the vacancies are done.
Right.
So if that hadn't started, why hasn't it started yet?
Right. That's my point.
Yeah.
All right. All right, moving on here. Wish our other guy was in here. Let's go ahead and let's just move on. Let's get to our
Crying Jordan.
Crying Jordan segment.
All right.
So my nominee, I have a couple this week, but for sure, and a shout out to Will Fitch from work because I didn't even know this was a thing. But apparently, C.J. Gardner-Johnson, formerly of the Philadelphia Eagles, decided to go ahead and start waving to the San Francisco crowd over there in Levi Stadium.
I've seen it. It was almost like fuck. You don't need to do that.
Yeah, don't do it.
Yeah.
Don't do it. And he,
It's kind of like the Browns is the Browns.
yeah, just starts waving. It's too fucking early. Stop it. You're on the road.
Yeah.
You're in a championship game.
Yeah.
C.J.
This
Gardner-Johnson.
ain't Philly.
No. That's another one for me.
Wait,
It might be a video.
it is the video. Waves goodbye, and then they lose.
Dan
It was just, to me, it was awesome to see the fucking Lions and the goddamn innocent
I
title
agree
game.
with you on that, but you cannot be that guy. You cannot be a
but
team that hasn't won since 1957.
It is a CJ moment. It's definitely a
It's
CJ moment.
absolutely a CJ moment.
But at the same time, it's like, dude, I'm just glad they were there, and they were up. They should have won that game.
And then on top of that, then Debo comes out because Gardner Johnson's just a fucking asshole, and then he just doubles down on him.
Yeah.
So where are you at? Where are you at, bro?
Yeah, why are you letting that ball hit off someone else's helmet and get recepted? Dude, if I was a fucking Lions fan, like a hardcore Lions fan, I would not be watching these playoff games because I'd be like, we deserve to be there.
We got another crying Jordan up there. I want to play this first, okay? Because I don't want to, before we get that one up on the screen.
Uh-huh.
I want to play the Joel Klatt
Yep.
talking about the horns down shit and how bad that is. How bad of a look for the Big 12 that is. So Joel Klatt, I love him. I love him for college football. I loved him over at Fox. He does a lot of games with Gus Edwards.
And
a
he's
lot
not
of Big
an
Ten
SEC
games.
slurper.
No. Paul Feinbaum, you are not.
Yeah.
But play the Joel Klatt clip, and this all has to do with
I'm so sick
the horns down situation.
of people
Yeah, I
being
100%
offended
agree
by
with him.
horns down. I don't want to,
Yeah,
you know,
maybe we
beat a
let
dead horse
people
here,
talk
but
shit on the court
then
and
don't
on the
lose
field,
the game.
because that's where it's meant
Why is this the only
Right.
gesture in intercollegiate
I agree.
athletics that
Like
we're
this
so
whole
worried
I'm offended.
about? There's
Okay,
a
good
lot
for
of
you,
things,
dude.
by the
Go
way,
fuck yourself.
that
Right.
there's a lot of hand gestures that get made on the football field, on the basketball court. They're a lot worse than horns down. A lot worse. Don't Google them,
That's a hell
if
of
you
a-
know what I mean.
that a
But in a
Rose
lot
Bowl?
of ways,
Yeah,
the Big
he's
12
selling them.
kind of created
muted?
this mess when they started to say, like, we're going to penalize
no, I don't
horns
care.
down
I
as
feel
an
like people should-
unsportsmanlike.
Well,
like,
no,
like,
he was
why?
actually
that is
selling
so
those.
weak.
I mean, Klatt.
That is
No,
so
I-
weak.
yeah, 'cause
if you
like I said,
don't
he's a
like
Big
it,
Ten guy.
win.
Yeah.
Okay? If you
But
don't like
it's
it,
the whole
win.
Rose Bowl
And stop
thing,
being
and
so
yeah,
externally
he's a big
focused.
proponent
That's what I would tell
all
Rodney
that.
Terry. And again, I know
So-
he walked it back. So he's going to hear this and be like, listen, this
I
is
kinda
water
wanna
under the bridge.
get
That's
into
fine. But if you're offended
the
by
whole
this,
thing
stop
with
being
the
externally
horns down.
focused.
And
There's no
why is
reason to
this
be
That's what we're
externally
listening to.
focused.
Yeah,
You have
okay.
0
I'll wait.
control
I'll
in
wait.
your
I
life.
guess let him talk.
I'm speaking to everybody now.
I can't. I want to talk to
You out there listening,
another one.
watching,
Well, you brought up
you
the video,
have
so we're playing the
0 control
He's that fact is.
Great point.
of anything going on except for
gonna have some
one
vote.
thing in this world: your own effort level.
You're right.
Maybe you could say your attitude, but it's
Believe me,
really
I
your
wanna see
effort
it so
level.
bad.
Yeah. You can smoke
That's
one.
it. That's it.
Huh?
So stop worrying about all the other stuff. Stop being externally focused. For those of you out there that draw your self-worth and value from things that happen on the exterior or from others, I mean, you are in for a world of hurt. A world of hurt. Stop doing that immediately. So someone flashes a horns down. Who
No, I do love Joel
cares?
Klatt.
And now at the BYU basketball
He's like-
game, they told the
he
kids
brings
to like take
a
the shirts
sensibility
off. They had
to
like horns down
ESPN
written
or
on
whatever the
shirts.
fuck he's on.
BYU told their own students to take it off.
I actually
Why?
like
Because
him.
the Big 12 made a big deal out of it a few years ago. Stop making a big deal out of it. And by the way, the SEC is not making a big deal out of it. The SEC has said they will not penalize the gesture of horns down. Good. Good. Because it's only a thing because it was made a thing. Right?
Okay, so Texas was playing a basketball game at BYU, and there was a bunch of students that were in the front row, and they
Can't believe
started.
this is even a conversation.
No, I agree with you.
What's up, Jordan?
So they were doing a whole horns down thing, and then the players in the front row were saying they had it wrote across their chest. You know how they do it?
Yeah.
Horns down.
Yeah.
Why is this a thing? I mean, what Klatt said was, if you don't want them to fucking taunt you, go fucking win.
Right. Yeah.
And
I
then
agree
he
with that
doubled down and
100%.
he said, Texas is joining the SEC. They're not going to do this bullshit because BYU made their own student body. no, you can't do that. You can't do that, and you're at BYU.
Well,
and-
to me, that even makes it like exacerbate more.
right.
Fuck, we used to talk shit as like when I was in high school.
Yeah.
Student sections. You get beat, you get beat.
Right. And that's what Klatt's saying. Go fucking win.
Right.
If
got
you don't
ball-
want, if you
you
don't
got
want the
balls-
horns, if you don't want the horns down, go fucking win.
You got balls enough to say what you're saying, your team better back it up. If not, well, you're going to live with the consequences.
Right.
Or, hey, be confident enough to do the horns down. You know, whatever. That's what sports is about.
But when BYU, they're on their home court.
Well,
It's
BYU's a bunch of fucking
yeah, that's fine.
people that marry a bunch of different women.
That's fine.
So,
But what I'm saying is, if BYU, when they double down and they say, no, student section, you have to leave the fucking arena because you have horns down, painted across your fucking chest.
yeah.
That's bullshit.
That is bullshit. I completely agree.
It's not Texas.
I'm
it's
a
not
First
it's not,
Amendment absolutist.
it's not Texas AD going to BYU and saying, "Oh, I'm gonna cry about this shit. Horns down."
Right, dude, it's all in good fun, dude. If people take it too far, they take it too far.
And
That's
the
their
BYU athletic director did, and the
Yeah.
president did. It
problem. Bunch
said,
of fucking Mormons.
okay, go ahead and put my Crying Jordan nominee up there. I went ahead and adjusted the student section of the BYU contingent.
Got some Mason Rudolph in there.
There's a cheesehead in
Yeah.
there.
CJ. There's
Jerry Sandusky.
Jerry Sandusky.
Joe-
There's
Joe Pa.
Dickhead from Subway. Is that fucking? Oh, I didn't see that. That's a.
I put him
Harden.
on. Who?
James
Oh yeah,
Harden.
James Harden with the Crying Jordan beard.
Yep, and then there's Chris Farley, Joe Pa, Baker, Dickhead. That's beautiful.
I mean, I feel for those students because I was there once.
Yeah, dude, like, I'm sorry, when I was in school, we were fucking assholes.
Sure.
And good. That's what you're supposed to do at that age.
All right. Perfect. Ryan, who's your Crying Jordan nominee this week?
It's
Wait. I feel like the fucking Karnak here.
Yeah?
It's not going to take a whole lot. Go ahead.
It's Lamar Jackson.
Oh. And we threw this out on TikTok. Please follow us at Dogs Raw on
Yeah.
TikTok, please.
And it had to me, it was the best music ever. You got into it and you're like, oh, fuck yeah. But, no, I mean, dude, that triple, as soon as he threw that pick into triple coverage, I was like, that's Baker Mayfield.
It's so bad. It is. That would have been really, really good if like Baker showed up in the last.
Yeah.
That would have been good.
Well,
But Vince Young.
I loved it because he was turning into Vince Young.
Right.
But then, like, the interception happened, and then boom, it's Baker, also being black with a bald head. And yeah, we made that. Yeah, hit us up on the fucking TikTok shit, dude.
How about the other
the hard R one was the
hard,
best.
all right.
30+ thousand views.
Right. Lamar Jackson. We have some other ones here though.
Oh,
Lamar
yeah.
Lamar has to get it.
Oh fuck yeah,
He's getting it this week.
Well, and the Ravens themselves have to get it. Throw in the damn towel.
Speaking of, this just happened today. Rip Carl Weathers. Apollo, the original Apollo Creed.
I didn't put this in here, but do you want me to put the?
Oh yeah, do it.
All right.
Yeah. So Rip, the original Apollo Creed. Carl Weathers actually played for in the Raiders secondary back during the 70s before he became Apollo Creed.
Yeah.
But this guy, Rip the Ravens, right?
Yeah, Apollo Creed and, the Terminator,
And
all
Chubbs.
those great movies. Yes. Did I not? Oh.
And now the Happy Gilmore. Oh, Jesus. I didn't know you were going there.
Oh, yeah. You told me to do it. I'm doing it.
That's fine. That's fine.
I thought I had these in there. And then the Happy Gilmore. Yeah, we have to have that. Almost have to. Yep.
And now it's true.
Now it is true. Hey. Chubbs has his hands back.
Rip Carl Weathers, though. That guy was fucking built like a brick shit house.
Oh, dude. Absolute fucking brick shit house for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
So. One of the best fucking one of the best scenes in Happy Gilmore.
Absolutely.
He's up there with both of his hands.
Yep. And
Abraham Lincoln.
Yep.
And a alligator.
With one eye.
Pop my ball down in the rough.
What else you got? You got anything else?
Oh, well. This is not really a CJ, but it's also kind of have to say it because we're pieces of shit. Carl Weathers, 1948 to 2024. If he dies,
He dies.
he dies.
He dies.
But
It's
all out of love.
You know what? Who is today's Carl Weathers?
Who?
Jokic, right?
Yeah.
It's
Well,
he's
he's
kind of came up with that. But
Jokic is the angry Russian on the other side.
is he Russian or
Carl Weathers has got to be
Serbian?
LeBron,
Does it
right?
matter?
Yeah. Eastern European, something like that. But yeah.
Oh, rip Carl Weathers.
Yeah. Other than that, you have anything else to add?
No, I don't. Please follow us on all social media.
Yes.
Get out there, please.
Please hit that subscribe on YouTube, please. And TikTok. We're getting close to 200. And if you're new on Facebook, if you are the 100th subscriber, we will get you a free shirt.
Sure, I would love that. We have 97.
We're at 96
on
right
YouTube.
now. Or 96 or
97
97.
now.
Yeah.
97.
So you're close. Get your friends involved. Come hang out with us every week. This is what we do.
Yep.
Talk shit to us.
We talk shit about whoever.
You know, we appreciate you guys if you're here. But you know, it's fun to get together and talk sports, talk Browns, talk Indians, and Mormons do not like conflict. Thank you, Jesse Boyd. We need to get you a shirt.
Yes.
And so hit us up after this. But other than that, we love you guys. RawDawgers out.
RawDawgers out.